Hello and welcome to the 14th episode of Nerds and Words. I'm Tim Allen 1337, and I'm not only happy but also humbled to be your host today among such great people and content creators like my good friend Moreland TV.
Hello.
And our favorite 5,000 viewer Andy, Potion Shop TV.
Hello, it is I.
I'd like to start by apologizing for this not being episode 15, but I had some serious breakdown in my support system last week and miscommunicated with Potion Shop, so we had to take an unnecessary week off. I apologize, my fault. So we've got 2 weeks of stuff to go over. Strap in, pop a loot scroll, and let's dig in. Potion, you've had a great couple of weeks. Do you want to let us inside on it a little bit?
Yeah, so I won Mysteries of Summer in 2018. That kind of made me the go-to person for Mysteries of Summer, and they had a new one. And so that really has boosted my stream. I've had a wonderful stream this week because of that, and that just kind of led into the Twitch drops. So it's been a very successful week for me as far as streaming is concerned, and I'm very appreciative to everyone who's come by the stream and watched and everything like that. And I don't want to, main thing is I don't want it to feel like I've changed in any way. You know, I feel like when people see someone who's gotten a lot of success, it feels like it changes them, and that's not how I want it to be for me. I don't worry, I'm going to be back to like a 200 Andy again here in no time. I'll say something stupid and everybody will unfollow me again.
Hopefully we can accomplish that today, Potion.
Well, it's been good. I hope you guys have had also good weeks. How was your guys' weeks?
I just bought a pin Blackstar like 5 seconds before the podcast, so things are looking good.
That's something right there. Congrats.
Yeah, it's very fancy. It has a V on it. It has Biohack's name on it.
That actually means the most right there.
Dude, it's a brand name Gucci pin Blackstar.
Not wrong. All my pins say WWW, or the 505th time I've been banned.
Unknown Adventurer.
Yeah, Unknown Adventurer.
Do you actually have like weird hacker names on your pins?
Yeah, two of them. One is actually WWW, and then the other one is Type Moo 2, which I'm pretty sure the first one was Type Moo and he got banned, and Type Moo 1 got banned. Now Type Moo 2. The other ones seem kind of legit. It's like not Razor or Golden or something, so those are pretty normal. But
we got some pretty sweet bands to talk about later in the podcast.
Yeah, do you still have your account, right, Potion, after all those RMT bans?
Yeah, I still have my account.
That's good. I just, having pens with those names on it, you were probably at least looked at.
Well, plus, think of all the Forest Furies he's sold. I mean, he's got to be way up at the top of the list.
Bro, I mean, I was concerned. Moreland was hanging out on my stream, and I was telling him that I stayed at a whole bunch of Forest Furies, and I saw them they were just sitting at minimum price forever. And then all of a sudden it spiked up and tripled in price one day, and I was like, this is suspicious. Nothing's happened, but it tripled in price. I was like, I'm gonna sell like 20 or 30% of mine, and this cut there because this is too suspicious to sell anymore. So
yikes.
Now they're 14 or 16 million or whatever. I could have even doubled my money from that point. I could have just bottled them up because they're like 10 times their price now.
So my week, I know we mostly talk about BDO on this podcast, but my week has been filled with New World. I had like a really long stream the day before New World released, and I remembered hearing Moreland was going to wake up early and play New World and stuff. I think we were playing Among Us or something. And
yeah, we're playing Among Us till like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I barely remember it. So we're having fun playing Among Us, but I remember going, shit, I should do that too. And, maybe him and I could do it together. It'd be kind of fun, whatever. So I wake up at like 5 minutes before it's released and start downloading it. And I start digging into the game, and I have fun with it or whatever. And then I just get this wild hair idea. Hey, let's make a guild. Let's call it Aftershock, And so we do. And then homies start showing up from Aftershock, and they just start showing up on the server. I'm like, oh, hey, join the guild. And then we find out that we can just pool our coins together and buy a territory. So within the first couple hours of the game being live, we were a territory guild, which you can imagine elated me. And so I've been just completely obsessed and delved into this game. I think I've got 50 hours or something in this game right now, like since it released, Wednesday? And I'm having a great time. We're almost certainly the number one PvP guild on our server, and it's almost disheartening because we just destroy everybody so hard. But we've got a war later today that I'm really excited for. We've done wars. We can talk more about it later, but like, holy fuck. I used to laugh at you for bringing this game up, and I'd quit BDO today if it actually released.
Yeah, we unironically took over the server on accident. Like, I don't know. I think I'm hoping on launch we have a little more competition, because for this preview we just kind of bullied these guilds. It was kind of sad, honestly, man. I'm hoping some of them level up and start to fight back before the test ends.
They were like trying to defend themselves. The guild's name is Ranger. That's like technically above us, but we bully the shit out of them. And I start doing my world chat thing, and now they're taking like this whole PMA approach because they just look like salty idiots. So they're just like, oh, Aftershock's great. We like Aftershock. But when we like PvP their members, they're like, is there any way to change factions so we can just actually grind? So we're having an awesome time. And it's a great week for it to happen because Koi are out, right? So
True.
I've made.
Can you actually run BDO in the background while playing New World?
Oh yeah, I've got 32 gigs of high speed RAM and a 2080, and
I need a new rig.
I get like roughly 60 FPS in New World when I was in there with BDO in the background. So it's not like crazy, but it's good. It's good enough.
I did turn it down to low for mass PvP and war. It was pretty chunky in war, but it wasn't like any more desyncy or laggy than the normal gameplay, which I thought was wonderful. So not to say that the game doesn't have problems or anything like that, but we can get into that later. But my week was almost exclusively New World. I did hit 289. I one-tapped Pen Kudum last week, so I'm 289 Kudum awakened to AP. So it was my 10th attempt, but it was the first of, I was saving up like 10 attempts, and then chat talked me into slapping it. So I did, and it went on the first time. So I had like all these extra costumes that I sold back.
I saw that clip of you one-tapping the Kudum. Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah. So that was good. But then I was going to use that to like get me through to season 2 as a goal, but now I don't really have any goals. The New World came up. I'm like, fuck it. We played some Among Us. That was fun. Let's move on to something else. And I just dug in, and I haven't had this much fun starting an MMO in a long ass time. So thanks for the idea, Moreland. It's been fun playing with you too.
Yeah, it's been all right. I think the game, I don't know, we can probably talk about it more towards the end of the podcast. I think the game has a lot of flaws, but maybe with another year of developments, it could be something really good.
I'm just excited about the potential, I think, is what really draws me in, and having a head start. And we already have such a strong core with the old Aftershock guys. It just makes it so much fun. So, but let's get back into, we got so much BDO stuff to talk about. We'll get back to New World later. Do you want to dig us through the BDO stuff, Potion?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about for BDO since we skipped last week. And it's more normal. Like, Probliss seems to be like going absolutely 100% in right now. So basically, we have Season 1 has come to an end, and Season 2 is getting ramped up. So we can jump into there, and I think that's a good starting point for us. What do you guys? How did you guys end last season, and why did you guys upgrade, or how'd that go for you guys?
I just went for full tet everything. I didn't push for pen. I wanted to get the stacks and get like the rewards for 61 and get the daily scroll running pretty soon. But other than that, I don't know. I found myself in a weird position with the end of last season because I wanted to graduate my season character and start using better gear on her, but I didn't want to give up the daily scroll and RNG box that I was getting from the season pass. So I kind of just had like a benched season character that was, a scroll collector for the last month. So I guess now that the season's over, I'm going to actually be able to play her. But I think for season 2, they got rid of the repeatable season pass thing. Do you guys know if that's the case or not?
I
That's
think
what it
you
looks
get,
like.
I think you get cocoa leaves now, and then those trade in for your big reward at the end.
I don't know if you have to like do it as a daily task though. So you might be able to just like do the season and graduate whenever you want to graduate. Before there was like you were disincentivized to graduate early, basically.
Hmm.
And so I think for season 2 they've improved that, which is really good.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to season 2 a little bit. I actually, for into season 1, I grabbed the season quest, and then I deleted my season character after 3 minutes of owning it, and then I'm just claiming the quest every day on my main character.
Oh,
So I'm just getting the rewards from that, and I'll still get the pin Kaposha, but I'll get way later because I started it way late. And then also, I'm really curious if you can continue doing that and getting the upgradables. So then that might just turn into like extra upgradables for season 2 if they use the same upgrade materials.
Yeah, it says time-filled Blackstones, but there was something in the patch notes. It was really poorly translated. But I know that you can't start season 2 quests until you end season 1.
Okay.
I did read that. I think I read that correctly. But as far as
That might be kind of weird. So he's gonna have to finish all of his Penkaposha season 1 quests before he can do the season 2 quests.
and that's what I'm going to do on my main account since I'm doing a new account for season 2. I'm on like day 30 or something.
Apparently for season 2, if you get the season pass, you can get 3 weapon exchange coupons, but if you don't get the season pass, then you only get 1.
Yeah, but they're out of the Pearl shop because they didn't want to be pay to win, right? It was predatory or something. What's the terminology they use? But then
that's
you can't.
a load of bullshit.
Yeah, that's so weird, man. That was like one of the only actual pay for convenience items. Like of all the things to take out of the cash shop, that was way at the bottom of the list. But I am glad that they're adding a way to get it back in season 2.
I'm just kind
And
of
it kind of
curious.
fits that it's like an end of season reward, because if you start the new character and you get really attached to it, then you can re-roll and be like a full-blown Hashashin. But I hope you like that class forever, because you can't buy any coupons from the store after that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's gonna be like a new reward they just add to every season now. And so you get to choose that or the new season reward.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
75
curious.
cocoa leaves. 75 cocoa leaves with the Black Spirit Pass, and it takes 50 for all 3 coupons. So you'll still have 25 left over. Shout out to Giannis for the information.
Okay.
Um,
Well, anyway,
So for
I'm
me-
looking now.
for
They
me-
have, so go ahead.
So for me, I did season 1 really poorly. I was really negative on the season thing in the beginning. And then I dug into it and really had some fun, and that helped come up with the idea to start a new account. So I'm really upset, and I don't know if anybody really likes the idea that the Fugars, like, you grind now and get black stones for the grind the week before, and then you get time-filled black stones for season before it comes out. That's back in this patch. And so it's somebody who's going to start on a fresh account. They're going to be at a massive disadvantage, from the word go.
Yeah,
But
it seems counterintuitive because the seasons are supposed to be for new players primarily, and then players who want a fresh start also. And for new players, they have to make an account a week early, and then get leveled up and geared up, and then go and restart again. It's like doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
So the challenge that I'm doing, the only advantages I'm going to give myself is I'm going to take myself on my boat and get the islands for energy. I'm going to rent myself a tier 8 horse. But I'm the characters in Aftershock, or the accounts in Aftershock, and I'll be able to pop guild buffs for myself. So those are the only advantages I'm really giving myself. And I'm going to do the Star Zen quest. I'm going to grind it for myself because I do it for other people all the time. So that's all I'm going to do. And then everything else I have to start at September 2nd when the servers go up. And I'm going to do a 24-hour stream and just start completely fresh and just knock out these achievements.
Are you going to do like knowledge and exploration, or are you mainly just going to focus on the season tasks?
So I'm going to take probably tomorrow to come up with like a priority list of what I need to do first. But leveling is obviously going to be the highest priority because you get so many rewards for leveling. But it's going to be a lot of going back and doing these fucking books too. So that's going to suck. But I recently just did most of them. Yeah.
The books are the big part of the reason I quit Xbox, man. When they started releasing the books on Xbox, I was like, okay, no, I'm not playing 2 BDOs anymore. I'm out.
It's a lot of work to do.
I really want 250 energy and 100 CP as soon as possible. I know that.
Why do you want that so much? Those particular numbers?
Because gathering is going to be a big part of the YouTube content that I want to make. I want to do like a beginner 1 to guru 1 cooking guide in 2020.
Okay.
And so I need some resources to be able to do that. And so my main character is going to be a shy. I'm going to finally have a shy gatherer, which is great. You start at professional 1 cooking and gathering, which I didn't really realize that. But that's a huge leg up for a new account.
I don't know, man. I think you're better off just grinding that out. Pro 1 takes like not long at all, and you could use a character that can actually move around and gather faster.
Shy's great for gathering, and it gets increased gathering XP. Yeah, it's got a little vacuum on it or something.
Yeah, they added a vacuum a long time ago for it. So after the vacuum, it's like okay. I would personally play a Guardian if I was going to min max on seasons, just because you can go into augment at like 215 AP, and that just opens up so many options.
I want to do Hatsushin though. I want to do the new class. I already play Guardian. There's already Guardian content on my channel. I'd rather do a new class and just. It's going to be a massive challenge. This is outside of running a siege guild. This is going to be the hardest thing I've ever done on BDO, and so I'm ready for it. I'm super ready for it.
What do you go? You said 200 CP and 150 energy?
250 energy, at least 100 CP. I'll get the 100 CP will come through the main quest. That'll be easy.
Yeah,
but
that'll be super easy.
That's what I need for at least the nodes that I want to connect. And then it's probably more like 150 CP so I can get some decent farms too.
250 energy isn't too bad. If you spent like an entire day just going around doing the character and the topography and stuff like that, the real low-hanging fruit, you could probably get that much.
And then I'm going to drive myself around. So I've got a very large desk here, and I can have my laptop there with my capture card. So when I'm like taking myself around on a boat and stuff, I'm not going to like hide that I'm doing it. So the few times that my account helps my other account, it'll be visible, but that'll be a big part of it, is getting to all those islands and getting all that knowledge out there, because that's like 30 or 40 energy by itself. It's a lot.
All right, so explain how this whole gearing process works. All right, I have a season character. They are now no longer a season character. Can I still use the armor and gear? And what happens to it on season 2? Does it go away? Like, what happens with it?
It turns into unsellable boss gear that downgrades a level as long as it's at least pry. So if you have a pry Tuvala chest, it turns into a plus 15 dim tree.
Okay.
That you can't sell, but you can enhance.
I think most of the pieces are not worth converting. The best option to me looked like the offhand.
Oh, am I wrong about that? I'm sorry. Chat's telling me I'm wrong about that. I think that's how it works for season 2 at least. I literally just read that.
For Tuvala into boss gear?
Yeah.
You can convert one piece. So if you have a pen Tuvala, you can convert that into Tet boss gear.
What happens to
the rest stays Tuvala?
Yeah, you can only convert one into actual account bound boss gear.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So what happens to their stuff? Can you use it on regular seasons? Can you use it on like non-season servers, right?
There's like a Tuvala conversion thing you can do where you convert it. It's still Tuvala, but it's not season Tuvala, so you can still use it, but you can't enhance it anymore. So if you only had like Tri or Tet Tuvala, you could still use it, but you could no longer enhance that to a higher level. Pretty pointless, especially with Oasis gear in the game. But I guess if you had like full pin Tuvala, those pieces are going to be nice to hold you over until you can get better non-season pieces. But if you had like Tet Tuvala or lower, it doesn't really do much for you. I do like converting the offhands into a Kudum, because you can then reform that, and a Tet Kudum is really good. Like you can use a Tet Kudum for a really long time. I probably wouldn't mess with any of the other pieces because you just don't really want an unsellable piece of boss gear, especially if you're going to make it pin, especially if like there's, we just got the Black Star helmet announcement. We don't know what other new armor might be on the horizon. I wouldn't be locked into any non-sellable armor right now, but I think having a Kudum is nice because you can just leave it at Tet and then, it save yourself a couple bill.
Do you think Oasis is going to end season 2?
I don't know when Oasis is going to end. Have they said anything about it?
I hope they like at least update the rewards so it doesn't hurt the economy so bad. Because there's a few things like Blackstone fragments that are just trash. Because I mean, there's 200,000 of them sitting on the marketplace right now in NA, and at the very least, I'd like to see them remove the black gems from the box and maybe just keep everything else. I don't know. And the Oasis like vendor, I feel like it could be updated to have some really cool stuff in it. Have it where it rotates like every couple months or something.
So
I think they've done enough catch-up stuff with like the Naru into Tuvala. I don't think we need people to just be able to straight up buy like a set of mid-tier gear. They should just have rapid early game advancement. I think that's a lot more like addicting and satisfying.
Yeah, I agree.
So what I could do on my new account potion is if I get 150 CP, I could get those Tet weapons on a Guardian non-season. If Hashishine, because we're probably not going to get Succession or Awakening straight off the bat. So grinding like end game is going to be pretty impossible. So I could just use 150 CP to get Oasis Guardian up and rolling and just grind Akhman for money while I wait for Succession and Awakening to come out. That might be the play while I wait for that.
Can you make 2 season characters? Is that a thing?
I don't believe so. And I want to PvP Hashishine on Arsha season. I doubt I'm going to graduate it early, but we'll have to see how the whole thing plays out. So I'm going to be a full pen season character as soon as humanly possible is going to be the goal. But then if I'm gated for like no reason, waiting for Succession and Awakening, I still have to make money. I'm not just going to grind Fogans or something until my eyes bleed.
I will say that I think that the Seasons is doing a good job of bringing new people in because they hear fresh start and they're like, don't have to worry about that anymore. Then they're willing to give it a try, I think that's probably been the best success story of Seasons so far.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else about Seasons?
I'm trying cooking for the first time since Monos Gear came out, and this stuff is so heavy, dude. How do you guys hold all this stuff in your inventory when you're cooking?
Yeah, it can be a problem. I usually just keep a remote storage collection in my house and just go back and forth.
I keep a container in my house, and then you can only do, depending on the recipe, 2,000 to 3,000 crafts on your character at a time if it's like super max weight. So my life's
big pie, and I can only hold like maybe 1,500 crafts.
That's
not even.
fine.
I can only hold enough. I can only hold enough for 1,500 meals, but since it uses the mass cooking thing, never mind. Let's move on.
I'll create a guide for you in a couple days. How about that?
Bro, I'm having to go back to storage every 5 minutes.
We mentioned the Fugar Lost Crystals for the event, which I think is pretty good. That kind of brings us into the events that have been going on inside BDO. We can talk, I think, talking about Mystery Summer and moving on to the other events would be good. So Mystery Summer has happened. Did you guys do that? Obviously, I did that. We talked about that earlier, but
that was a hard skip for me.
I
mean, why? Unless you went for the Rich Merchant's Ring, all the other rewards were just kind of meh. So,
well, what they did with Mystery Summer is it's only a competition between servers. So there's no first place through 10th place anymore. They just got rid of that entirely. And so if your server got in first place, which was Korea this time, then you get 50% drop rate for a week, which doesn't seem like a good reward. And then as long as you complete the Mystery Summer before September 2nd, you can enter into another special quest, which is called the Lion's Trial. And then the first place winner of that gets the Rich Merchant Ring. So I don't know. It seems strange and convoluted to me. I thought there wasn't even a reward at the end. They just removed it because there was no mention of it, and they had to come out with another post to explain what was going on. So
what do you think of the Rich Merchant's Ring as a reward?
They renamed it to the Lion's Ring, but other than that, it's the exact same thing. And they shouldn't be giving imagine if you gave one player 1 trillion
Wait, what do you mean
silver
they
in
renamed
game.
it?
It's the exact same ring, and they just call it the Lion's Ring, and it has some flavor text saying this is an artifact from the Serindian family Damagant or something like that.
But it for sure has the 5% market on it.
Yep, it's on the you can look at the codex, and the codex has it in there underneath there.
Such an insane reward,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Well, I
it's
mean-
such an, oh my God.
It's like a 10,000 hour item at best. Yeah, it's 10,000 hour item. And then like imagine if you just gave somebody 1 trillion silver in game. Well, you'd obviously be upset about that. Players would be upset about that. And that's basically what they're doing with this merchant ring.
I think it's worse than giving someone 1 trillion silver, dude. With that ring, you can actually just fuck the market in this game. If you know what you're doing, there's certain recipes, certain things in the market you can completely just shove everyone else out of and just make the game worse for everyone but yourself while making a profit. It's such a bad item.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'd rather have a computer.
the idea you're talking about is like basically like cooking. You can just like sell
Don't
things at a
give
lower
people
price.
too many ideas, but I mean, yeah, like there's a lot of bad things that you could do with that ring, and you can make money doing it. If Biohack gets that ring, he said he's gonna make an extra 10 bill a week if he gets that ring.
Honestly, at this point, who cares? Fucking Jeff Bezos, you know?
True, but just like, man, if someone wanted to like really be a dick with that thing, there's some weird things they could do.
Yeah, you could just buy up everything and jack up prices and stuff, or crash prices as well.
So I think one of the things that I'm not a huge fan of this type of. Okay, so I like that it happens. I love that it happens, and we talked about this with the Cacao Games Trial of Summers, right? I was like disgusted with the entire thing. It was just such an aberration. So I love that they did this, but remember the last thing we said about this is in the Heidel Ball Part 3 at home or whatever the fuck that was. They said we have no idea when we can bring back Mysteries of Summer content because it was abused or something last time, and they just the TLDR was like they're completely writing it off and they're not going to do it again, which I think is why Cacao Games went like, well, let's do our own, and good on them for trying.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was that 3-4 weeks ago? They come out with Mystery of Summer just out of the fucking blue.
Yeah, I think what is either one of two things: either they lied about it and intentionally, or Cacao did theirs and they're like, well, that was really popular. Maybe we should do another one. Maybe we should do another one.
There's no way they did it in response to Cacao's. It would happen way too fast. They had to be working on this for months. They don't do things that quickly.
Maybe
right. So it must have been like a deception thing. Yeah.
Well, it's either that or maybe it's just the corporation is so big that the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, type of thing.
Oh,
yeah. Well, I mean, also like the communication between Pearl Abyss and Cacao has always been kind of weird. Do you remember in TwitchCon 2018? I think it was 28 or 20. I don't know which year it was. I think it was 2018 when we went and saw the Pearl Abyss booth at TwitchCon, and like no one had any idea that Pearl Abyss was even going to be there, like including Cacao. The Cacao people were like, "Oh, hey, look, Pearl Abyss is here. Isn't that something?" It's like, what? You guys don't talk.
So CM Richter was actually a big part of putting that together, and he DM'd me like 5 days beforehand. He goes, "Dude, Pearl Abyss has their own booth here." So like they found out like 5 days beforehand or something. While they were there, like physically setting up the booth, they're like, "Wait,
what?"
And it was you could feel the tension. I know that like I don't really understand Korean people and their culture because I've spent 0 time with them, and I know they're a little more reserved and there's a language barrier and all that kind of stuff. But there was like a palpable tension. They didn't come over or look or anything until like the last round of the 3v3 tournament, and that's what kind of clicked with me. Like something's wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the entire convention, they kind of just both did their own thing.
Yeah.
One thing I want to mention about Mysteries of Summer before we move on is that the final quest, you had to actually go and log in to the website, Cacao, and type in a code which gave you the item in your mail after you claimed it on your account page, and then you could use that item in Alchemy. And then it gets worse because the code you get one letter of the code from every server. So every server had their own code one letter, and so you had to figure out based on when the games were released in KR and like everything like that. So like KR Alpha was the first letter, so A, and in Korea it had its own letter written on the wall, and so you had to get Korea's, and then you had to get Russia's, and you had to get Japan, and that was the first code. That was the first four of the code, and then they did it again, and the next one was NA. In EU, and then they had like so on and so forth as they released new versions. It was the most convoluted thing. And the thing is, it's supposed to be a competition between servers. So we didn't know what was going on, but we're supposed to be communicating with our servers to figure this answer out, but we're competing at the same time. It was the weirdest thing.
How did you type in a Korean letter?
They just did it based on the regular alphabet. Because Koreans have English and Korean characters.
Regular alphabet?
Regular alphabet?
Whoa,
bro.
dude.
You're going to need to create an apology statement for that one. Yeah.
Can we bleep that on the
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Spotify?
what is it, the global letters, because Japan has their own. They use the ABCD and all that, and then the Koreans have their own version of that as well that they type
Potion
in.
Chop's opinion is his own. It does not reflect nerds and words.
But yeah, they just use English characters for it all.
English would be the right way to say that.
Listen, all right, it's about the intent behind it, not the actual what you guys are going to misperceive it as.
Oh, the road to hell is paved with gold, or the road to heaven is. Oh, fuck it, whatever.
Good job, Tim. How was the overall Mysteries of Summer? I mean, other than the weird, like, redeem thing, did you have fun? Did the puzzles feel meaningful, or were they all kind of weird and convoluted and random and hint-gated?
The first half was
this year.
They Purpose took in consideration data mining, and they designed the entire thing around the idea that people were going to be looking at the codex and data mining and stuff like that. So they did a very good job at avoiding that this year.
Okay, good for them.
So I think there's only like one part where I feel like people kind of got a slight advantage, but it didn't matter because everybody's caught up immediately. But yeah, the first half was awesome. They released hints at a very timely pace. It was very exciting, and in the second half, it became hint gate all over again. And then basically, with the hint gate at the end, along with they made it easier for everybody to catch up. They made catching one of the items from fishing easier. They made landing on a platform easier, and they made the platforms not disappear on one part. Like, they did a lot of changes to make it easier. And on top of that, I'm just hint gated. I'm just sitting here like, all right, you made it easier for everybody to catch up, and I'm just sitting here like, what am I supposed to do? So I said,
Sorry,
like,
man.
it was like
Fishing for that duck was like, I saw some people slowly dwindling into the abyss trying to get that duck. Man.
It was harsh for a lot of people. I think overall though that like the first half I'd say was probably like a 9 out of 10. No problems at all. And the second half, between getting hint gated and the final like type in the code to the website thing, really I'd put it probably like a 3. So the first half 9 out of 10, the second half like 3 out of 10. So I think if they take the lessons learned from this, I think the next one could be really awesome. Like the first half of this was probably the most fun I've ever had in BDO period. And the second half was probably almost the worst time I've ever had in BDO period.
Is it worse than farming Waragons last time?
I'd say it was less fun than farming Waragons or Waragons, whatever it is. I think it was less fun. The last half was less fun. Because at least Waragons, you feel like you're making some progress. You're doing something. But I'm just like for the last half of this one, I was just sitting in my chair. It's like we're getting hit.
I've got 2 questions. Number 1, I think when we were talking about Trials of Summer, and I'd have to go back to the podcast VOD or Spotify to remember, didn't you call Trials of Summer 10 out of 10? Weren't you like really happy with that? So
I was happy it came out. And then I basically was really, really happy. The end I was very mad about because you had to learn Latin in order to solve the final question to it. So I was upset about that.
You couldn't learn Latin?
I think, and then other than the square and compass, like if you don't consider learning Latin and square and compass guild rock look deep, I think it was actually really good. I thought it was pretty good. It's sort of like Mystery Summer is defined by the worst possible part of it. Whatever the worst part is, that's what defines the entire Mystery Summer. So, that's what they need to strive to avoid.
The pie is only as good as the crust.
Yep, exactly. That's a good analogy for it.
Yeah. Hearing that actually changed my life. I think about that all the time. And then my second question, just selfishly, because I tried to watch as much as I could, but it started getting lost on me. You were trying to find a cave in Calpheon with trees, and you're bringing a group of people, was that the solution? I'm sorry, this is a selfish question, but I'm interested.
I don't honestly remember.
I was wondering if you'd remember it too.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's so much weird shit you have to do. I don't know how you wrote it all in a guide, right?
Yeah, it's all in a guide now. Exclamation point guide in my chat. You can see the whole thing. I try to keep it
Thank
updated.
God for that.
Yeah, there actually one of the crazy parts about it is like there's still things about it we don't know. Like there's this thing I'm going to get called King's Regret, and if you pop it by a solo player, you don't get anything, and we don't know how many you have to pop in order for it to work. And we never got a hint for it either. So, but when we first did it, we just had 100 of us there, and we all popped it, and then it worked. We're like, okay, I don't know what happened, but it worked. All right, and so we just never figured it out. So now new players that go through, they're like, I popped it, nothing happened. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't know how it works.
Get 99 of your closest friends to help you out.
So my advice has been to get like a group of like 10 and have everybody pop it, but I don't really know how many you really need.
I'm really happy for you, man. I'm really happy this came through. I said last time when it was trials that, Potion Shop and Mysteries of Summer is synonymous, and I was disappointed with Cacao Games. I was happy that they took a stab at it, but I was disappointed with the execution of it and some of the decisions that they made. But I'm super happy they did this, and I'm super happy to see you succeed and have fun and
Yeah, I think there's three things right now that really, really make veteran players happy. New classes, new regions, and Mysteries of Summer. I think those are the three things that, at least for me, that really make me like that. I'm always get super excited for. So
yeah, I love Dregan. Loved Dregan.
Yeah. Well, that's about it for Mystery Summer. Do you guys have any other comments on it?
No, I'm just happy for you, man.
Well, they brought back the Koi event. So that's something.
Yay.
I had to look forever to find where this was. People told me the Koi event was active. Like, there's no event page. I went to the patch notes. It's not there. I went through like all the events that they announced. It's not there. I'm like, where is the Koi event? Like, you guys are just you're BSing me right now. Where is it? Like, this is just a lot. And then apparently they went and updated their old original summer festival post from like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then in there you can find the Termain water park now has the fishing koi event going. And I was like, oh, there it is. Like, so that's active and that's pretty pog. That's about 500 mil a week in AFK fishing compared to, what was it? The potatoes? No, the beer that you can make was like 200 mil a week. So
a week. I've already made 500 mil, brother, from Wednesday.
I'm talking about the beer stuff.
470. No, right. You're saying koi's 500 a week. I've already made 500.
Oh, you already have? How much are you guys making? Is it better than last time? You think?
I think the drop rate's about the same, but I've already gotten 6 of those 10 mil fish. So
dang,
I'm just shy.
Know the spot? Do you know the secret spot?
Go rock, look deep.
No, DM it to me though.
There's a way you can get abundant fishing.
Maybe. All right. Next time you want to get into a war on New World.
Yeah, so I'm very happy they brought back koi fishing. I mean, I think the making beer for money was an interest. They took a risk with it. Obviously, it was not a good option. But I'm happy they brought back koi fishing. I mean, Termain Water Park would not be the same without some koi fishing. They really wouldn't. So I'm happy they brought that back. In celebration of
Tim, you already have. Wait, they're 500K each, right?
Yeah, so I've got just under 400. Let's see. Yeah, I've got 382, and then I have 660 mil fish. So I'm just under 500 mil for it's like 450 or something.
You have 6 10 mil fish?
Mm-hmm. I am Guru 7 fishing with 745 mastery, which may matter.
How many? You said you had almost 400 koi?
Yeah.
So you have about 260 mil?
Did I do the math wrong?
I'm not going to look at the math. That's above my pay grade.
Oh, I did do the math wrong. I'm sorry.
What's your fishing mastery? That's a lot of 10 mil fish, actually.
I'm 250. I'm sorry. It is 500 a week. I apologize. I must have done something wrong. My mastery is 245, Guru 7. I don't have fishing mastery clothes. I just use my +2 fishing clothes and my Balanos rod that I've used forever.
What would you say your average koi rate is currently?
Like, it's been out since Wednesday. Today's Saturday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days. Right. So I've about 100 a day, roughly. I didn't fish for about 4 hours yesterday.
That's insane.
Is it?
Why
are you?
That's just a very well articulated average. You did that correctly. I'm just really proud of this podcast right now.
You don't have to fucking talk down to me, little man. I was trying to put podcast notes together because I was making sure, and then I did some quick fucking math, and I definitely hit a wrong number and just slammed it together. I apologize, but I know how to do
Well, I wasn't trying to take any shots. I was trying to, just talk about how good we are as a group coming up with averages.
Yeah,
we have an impeccable record on averages on the podcast at this point.
We got that eyesore.
Moving on. This is awesome. Yeah. So with Mystery Summer ending, they celebrated that by giving us a illusion of Altered Blood. So they brought back this. You can do it and get around 250 Cron Stones, I believe. So that's good, I guess.
Have you done it yet?
Altered Blood? Nah, I've never done Altered Blood one time, even since launch.
What like stage of Altered Blood is it?
I think it's just, I don't know. I've never done it. I don't know. You get like a blue flame that spawns from what they said, and then you get more loot. I don't know.
Pretty sweet.
Yep, more loot.
Altar of Blood was pretty good when it first came out. I mean, I think if they just made the rewards worthwhile, it could be pretty good content.
I think it has. It's just like I think it needs variety. Every time I need to go in there, I need to be having a different boss. Like if they had different bosses that cycled every week or different like effects. Every time I go in there, it needs to be slightly different. It doesn't have to be major different, but it needs to be something different every time I go in.
So last night we, bear with me. Last night, a group of us in New World went to like this grind spot we heard about, and we walked over there with like 7 or 8 people and tried to see if we could farm these elites that are at or above our level. And there was a whole big room of them. And then we got more people from our faction and more people from our guild to help us. And there was a group of, I don't know, maybe 15 of us all working together to grind the spot, sharing experience and gold and masteries and stuff like that. And the entire time we're all there, we're going, imagine if BDO had something like this, where it's just like this massive group grind where you could have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people. Not all of us were in the group or even in the same guild. We were just working together. And if anybody from not our faction showed up, we would have annihilated them. But so when I'm looking at like Altar of Blood and seeing like oh man, that's such a good try. But then like, what if there's just this area of really hard mobs that people just congregated into a raid group and just farmed together and everybody got their share,
Or like a horde of mobs that you had to have like a 10-man group for.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this game plays differently, so you'd have to have way more mobs than in that game, but something to that effect. I haven't had that much fun with a group of strangers. There was somebody who just showed up and we invited him to the guild and he got in comms and he was young and a little obnoxious, but he was a god gamer. We had fun. He had a response for everything, but like we got to meet new people and stuff, and that's just such a hard thing to do. Mm-hmm. The thing that I've really been thinking about, not to take us off track too far, is that social interactions. We talked about that the other week, and I've really been thinking about that ever since you brought up social interactions, and I've actually brought it up a couple times in my stream since. And the amount of social interactions that happen between that in that game is second to none. It's incredible. But so yeah, Altar of Blood's cool, but like
Altar of Blood, you do 3 people, right? That's the proper party size is 3.
Yeah, 3.
And I think with this one, you have to do with 2 people who have the event item. So you have to have 2 people who have the event item, and then you can all go in together. Which I think is a little strange. I feel like each person should go. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Altar of Blood, like, I think if they just added like a horde kind of like wave mode that got progressively harder, and you had to have a certain amount of people to go in. And I don't even know if the mobs should be rushing the pillar like they do in Altar of Blood, if they just actually rushed at the player and you were like in an instance, and wave 9 was really hard, and wave 10 was super hard, and wave 11 was like you needed to be full C20, like just get something that gets progressively harder, where you have a goal that you can push with your friends and try to get faster times so you can get more rewards, like that kind of infinite progression. I think that would work super well in this game, rather than just trying to kind of like rebalance the 30 different grind spots that we have and keep up with the economy that's changing every 3 months. I think people would really dig just having like group content that they could do that's repeatable and scalable.
Well, I think that could be a new type of grind spot, honestly. Like, I don't see why Altar of Blood couldn't have been just a location that you go to in the game world and you use a summon scroll, and then, no one else can interact with it because it's your summon scroll, and you just have a party of people that do it with you. I don't see why that can't be a thing.
I don't think it needs to be instanced at all. I think you could just have it be open world, because
that's what I'm saying.
There's so little open worlds, to begin with.
Do you want it to be stealable? Like you build up to wave 10 and someone comes and jacks your wave 11 from you?
I think if you had the right mechanics, I think that could work. I think that with the Dawn Earring and whatever that is, the Dawn Earring boss, whatever that spawns, you can come and steal that. I think that's kind of proven that they need to have a carefully thought out process that happens there. Maybe not a server announcement. They need to have some type of thought process there. But I do like the idea of being able to have social interactions with a event that happens, a risk versus reward type strategy. But yeah, I don't know. I think they definitely should explore that a little bit more as another option for grind spots. Make a new type of grind spot in the game. The game's had the same type of grind spots since
it really just comes back to Thorntree Castle. Like whatever they do with Thorntree Castle, I feel like is going to be really make or break for the kind of end game progression of BDO. Because if that's not a hit, then it's just it's like 2 more years of Star's End.
I agree.
Yeah, they're going to just call it quits.
I agree.
Yeah, I hope they do that well. What do you guys think it needs to be like successful? Does it need to be open world? Does it need to be strategized, timed?
So you have 2 different groups of 5 people that go in, and then there's like a mixture of PvE and PvP. I don't think we have a lot of detail on it yet. I mean, there's a variety of ways they could do it. They could they could make it like a race where you're just trying to like kill more stuff than the other team. I don't really think that would be that interesting. I think it would just evolve into a meta really quickly where like you have to have, 5 succession strikers or something. Like there would be some meta that people figure out that just beats every other comp, and that's going to be dumb. So like, I think that if maybe 2 groups fight their way to the boss and then they have to kill each other and the winning team gets the boss, like an Albion Hellgate, that would be super cool. But I mean, there's a lot of ways they could do it. I hopefully we'll see soon, man. I mean, they've been talking about it for months. I just hope that they finally give us some detail and put it on Global Lab or put it on KR soon.
Yeah, it'd be nice to finally see something about that. And then I don't know. I feel like it needs variety, because I feel like if they don't have variety in it, it's just gonna be Altar Blood all over again. You're gonna do it all over again. Like it's gonna be you do it one time and you've seen everything there is to see. The reason League is awesome is because every time you have different champions. They have to buy different items. They run different paths. They show up different places, and every game is a little bit different than the last one, and a little different than the last one, over and over and over again. So they need some way to make it where this new
the game's different because of the opponents that you have and the teammates that you have. I think if did you ever play Albion?
I watched you play it, but that's about it.
Yeah, so the Hellgates and Albion are like the actual PvE side of it is very straightforward. The bosses are not challenging. Like none of the PvE is really interesting there. The interesting part is the fact that when you go into a Hellgate, you have your team of 5 and there's another team of 5, and you're going to have to like kill them in order to take the boss and get the rewards. That is the interesting part. So even if the PvE side of Thorntree Castle is really straightforward, that doesn't really matter as long as it's good enough to where there's a variety of teams that are going there and you're not just fighting the same 5 people over and over again, which could easily happen, right? It could be content where like a couple teams just bully everyone else out, or it could turn into gatekeepers where like the top guilds all just nut cup each other and like make alliances and, you know, like trade wins or whatever. Like who knows how it'll actually play out. But as long as they incentivize it properly.
Well,
Yeah, as long as they
I guess-
incentivize it properly to where a lot of groups will want to do it, then it could be extremely fun because like 5v5, you don't know what the outcome of 5v5 is going to be. Even if it's another group that outgears you, like you could still pull off wins in this game.
I guess
and
I was thinking about that. I was like, but doesn't happen. You know, every player has their own like unique skill build that they build, and then you have multiple different Hellgates. So you have, you know, may have these PvP fights that happen, but they happen on a variety of Hellgates. And I'm just thinking that, you know, you're taking basically, imagine doing one Hellgate and then basically fight the same build every single time. You know, that's why I feel like BDO will feel like, because there's no diversity in like from class to class. Really, it's just pure AP meta for everybody.
I think that there's diversity from team to team. I don't think fighting one group of 5 in BDO feels the same as fighting another group of 5. There's a huge difference, not just in the class, but in the players that you're fighting. Like everyone's going to play differently too.
All right, now this will actually transition well into our next topic. Do you think that the that new game mode should be actual have its own servers, that you go to? Because they just did new servers for battle arenas on Global Labs and Red Battlefield. So, how do you guys think that should work? Do you think it should be on every server has their own, or should be have their own servers for it?
I mean, I'm not convinced that it matters. They should know better than us whether or not like how the servers are structured and whether or not separate servers are the issue there. If it is the case that like people cooking in Heidel is causing lag in a Valencia siege because those servers are because they're on the same channel, then yeah, all that stuff should have its own server. But I assume, I mean, they could just be like this clueless that they haven't thought to solve that problem. But I assume that if it was tied to the entire channel in that way, then they would have already made those separate servers by now.
Okay.
So I don't know if making their own servers is really the thing that matters there. Like maybe it's the servers are already clustered in a way where when you cross into that node, you're on like a different subserver. I don't know how they do it. I mean, if it helps, then yeah, like make that for everything. Make that for Siege and Node War as well.
Apparently, we've been told that it doesn't matter the people that AFK on the channel or whatever, because I bring that up every once in a while and chat screams at me when I say that. But log on to or the season server's gone. Yeah, they're gone. If you logged on to a season server like a week ago, the game was palpably smoother in every way, shape, and form because nobody was on it. So you know, that's fine that they tell us one thing, but, you know,
you can feel the difference.
Streaming on the same computer that you're playing, you can feel, you know, when there's a lot of people there, you know, you can feel the extra oomph. And then it was just like, instant Excel drift canceling was completely different on season servers for me than it was on any other server.
Well, you can also feel that when you go to a Node War channel. If you go to a Node War channel during Node Wars, like, you can feel that it's slower, even if you're nowhere near the Node War. You can feel like, you know, things interacting slower, cooking slower and stuff. I bet we can actually measure that.
As far as them having the information, they might actually have to play it to feel it. And then we just went through or about to go through another round of changing mercs on Node Wars while mercs on Siege still remain uncapped. So, you know, these guys are able to make really fucking dumb decisions with information that is literally completely directly in front of them.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like there's some easy low-hanging fruit that they're just ignoring for some reason. Even though
and somebody at that company fucking loves the rich merchant ring, the idea of it and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, what is the obsession with that item, dude?
I don't get it. I just would have gone, hey, Bill, I know you're the cousin of the owner of this place, but we just got to let this idea die. But
just stop bringing it up. Like,
get another idea, bro. Just come on.
The problem is every time there's a Q&A, people ask about it too. So like partially it's our fault because we have Papegas who think it's a real item who keep bringing it up, and now Pearl Abyss is like, oh, okay, well I guess we'll make it the reward for Mysteries of Summer.
I just feel
I
like
promise you, this guy that keeps bringing it up in the like internal meetings has like some trust fund money and just wants to like be in the video game industry and always buys tabs when he brings up the rich merchant ring. He's just always buying the tabs for dinner and stuff. So they're like, all right, well, Bill got us drunk last week, so I guess we'll put it in Mysteries of Summer.
Yeah, I feel like when they get an idea, they just run it until it runs into the ground. Instead of leaving a good idea and then not overusing it, they do this a lot of times. Like think about when they introduced Afro Mario. Afro Mario into Valencia was awesome. Like I think that was a really good idea. It boosted a lot of grind spots, made a little diversity there, and now you have the poacher that they added and the Garmoth.
That okay, yeah.
And so you have every region has this like random little NPC that spawns, and they use the idea until it's just so exhausted that it's just no longer fun. And I feel like that's what they do. Like Mystery Summer, they redid platforms. They redid how platforms work. They're now client side instead of server side, so they're way better to jump on. There's still bugs with it. Don't worry about that. But it's much more smooth to jump from platform to platform now compared to before where you would fall off it and not understand why and stuff like that. It's much more smooth. But because they did that change, they added platforms to like I think 1, 2, 3, I think like 5 different parts of Mysteries of Summer this year. They had platforms involved with them just because it was like their new fancy toy that they had. They had this new added a new function with Mystery of Summer also where you can have like invisible ladders, and so they used invisible ladders on like 2 or 3 different parts of Mystery of Summer. And it's just like they get like this new toy and then they just use it until it's no longer fun. I feel like that's what they've done with the merchant ring. It's like hey, look, we added a new quest for it. Now we're adding we're doing it the old way, and now you can also acquire it through the Mysteries of Summer. So I feel like they're just using it too much.
In large games, so there's 2 things, right? In games, you have to teach mechanics to people, right? That's why we all go through the "this is how you move" intro, because that's like a proven way to teach people how to play your game and expect kind of normally unexpected things like invisible ladders. And then in large games, you have to expect just at least a quite a fair bit of copy pasta for mechanics and mobs and territories and stuff like that. So you're just doomed to see the same thing over and over again. So a little bit of that is just the nature of the beast, I think, at some point.
I guess my kind of thought pattern on it is that I don't mind them reusing assets and stuff, but you shouldn't, like, it's sort of like they make one tree and then they make 100 of the exact same tree at the same time. Instead of just spacing out, what if they made like a new grind spot, make one new grind spot every so often, right? They don't need to go, like right now they've gone on this big kick where they're adding a new boss to every single grind spot in the game. So they had one at Stars Inn, now we have one at Schultzgard, now we have one at then we have Pirates version of it, we have Shirkan Metropolis, we have Fodus Habitat, Guyfin is getting one, Bassies is getting one. They have this obsession with adding a boss to every single grind spot, and they're using that idea until it's just exhausted. I don't think adding a boss to a grind spot is a bad idea, to be clear. But like, hey, how about you wait 3 months and do that same idea again, right? Give it some time to breathe a little bit, spread out the reuse of assets like that over a longer period of time. Because right now it just feels like they're just copy pasting it.
Doesn't really bother me that much. I can think of a lot of other things I'd rather complain about instead.
I guess that's true. Well, let's go back and let's finish up the last event that they have going on here this week. It's Stay Healthy. Stay Healthy is an event where I have to actually go look it up again. I told myself I would write this down because I'd forget it, and I didn't. There it is. Yeah, it's an event. It's new since we've been going. Basically, you can buy for 100 silver on the Pearl Shop. You can buy like all the stuff.
Yeah, there's a bunch of goodies, especially on the weekend, right?
And it's actually really, really good for the amount of silver you're paying for it. You get artist memories, and you can actually get a Shakti box out of it if you buy it enough times. Yeah, let's see. Right now, you can buy a Shakti box for 100 silver, and you can buy a bonus loot scroll. You can buy 100 cronstones. You can buy a spell stack.
Out of your Shikatu box? You get anything good out of your Shikatu box?
I haven't opened it yet. I haven't bought any of them.
Oh,
All right, we'll do it right now.
buy them before reset.
All right, memory
Don't forget.
fragments. I got memory fragments, but those are there, and that's to stay healthy, and that's going to be live. It's a really, really good event for people to be getting some free loot. Speaking of free loot, I guess we should wait for them to come back, but they have Twitch drops, so I think we should talk about that. I think that was kind of left field for. I didn't really expect it. They say
Yeah, they talked about Twitch drops a long time ago behind the scenes. I don't know what the process is for them to get that up and running, but it's definitely something they wanted to do for a while. And yeah, good for them. I'm glad they did it. BDO's definitely boosted right now because of it.
For sure.
I didn't realize how many people played this game until they turned those drops on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering like how many people actually came over. Like what percentage is that? Like 10%, 5%? You know, it's a lot. A lot of people showed up for that.
Of like population.
I've been told by a reliable source that Fake and I freaking out about the partner program being dog shit is a part of the reason that a lot of this stuff is kind of resurfaced. Unfortunately, I was dumb enough to walk away from it, but people keep coming to my chat and typing drops and all that kind of stuff and whatever. I still kind of stand by my decision. I'm okay. Like a couple thousand viewers is nothing to scoff at. It's a good thing to have, but it kind of sucks with my Hashishine Season 2 content that I'm really excited about. I'm going to get fucking buried on Twitch with all you BDO partners.
Drops only happen until September 2nd anyways, so
I think they come out with another round of them for September 2nd as well.
Yeah, they do a round 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then round 2 lasts 2 weeks, I believe. I'm curious what the exhaustion rate will be, because I feel like there's a certain amount that people are willing to do, and then they just get exhausted with it, and they're like, all right, well, whatever.
Well, they do it until they get their 10 hours of loot, and then maybe they stick around because they find somebody that they like. I mean, I think everyone will get a little bit of a boost from it. I don't think if there's a ton of people that don't normally watch streams, like some of those people will start watching streams after this, but for the most part, they're just going to go back to not watching streams again.
Yeah,
right. That's why I'm not like too bent out of shape about it. It's a great thing to have. It's good for the directory, but
yeah, Potion, have you been noticing like your followers or subs actually being affected by the event, or is it just people who are coming in, farming the 10 hours and leaving?
Yeah. Yesterday I did a 25-hour stream, and I got 1,700 followers in a single stream.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like actually like 7 or 8% of all my followers ever in a single stream. It's a pretty insane number. I think the retention rate is going to be very low on that, though, compared to normal followers. Followers, they come by and I think they'll stay around for a long time, because those people are probably following me so that September 2nd, they'll come back and they'll get more loot. And after that, I think they're, most of those people are not Twitch people, normally, not normally Twitch viewers. So I think after that, we'll see a huge fall off when it ends.
Bro, how much do you get for running ads when you have 5K viewers?
I'm not actually. I wish I would. I want to. If I ever get up that high again, I'll let you know. But I have about $80 in ads right now from the month.
That's it, really?
Yeah.
Wow. We get such a bad cut on ad revenue for Twitch.
Dude, you can't even farm these kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I was running ads like every 30 minutes, then I would probably double that number. But I mean, it's like there comes a point where this starts hurting your channel, because people are like, I'm just tired of watching ads,
I get like 30 or 40 bucks. What'd you say, Marlon?
This guy in my chat's like, do we need to follow for drops? I feel like that kind of sums up the whole.
That's exactly what happened.
I can't even be fucked to click the follow button. That's how little I care about you, streamer. Like, holy shit. Yeah, but I'm just sure some of them will stick around. I think it's good that they're, that they're trying this out.
I
think you guys should be in follow only mode, with no cooldown on it. I always keep my channel on that, and that you're crazy if you're not doing that right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have to unmute to get dropped.
Yeah. I have people. I had one of my things I was doing yesterday. I was like, all right, you can you have to keep the stream unmuted, but you can mute your Chrome tab and it'll still count. And so
Next level strats.
yeah, but we actually found out that you can actually keep you can mute a stream and you still get the Twitch drops, so that doesn't matter.
Great. You don't even get a viewer for that.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Amazing. Well, so the latest rumor is that you can link multiple Twitch accounts to one BDO account.
Oh, fuck.
So, mappers, anyone? Any droppers in chats? Think of all those Shy accounts. Or actually, you wouldn't even need Shy accounts. You just need all Twitch accounts this time.
So many Shockdo boxes. Oh my gosh. And the thing is, you could actually just do this on an alt account, get your alt account banned, and then just crash the memory fragment market permanently. Just set up a bot to do everything for you.
Amazing.
And then just crash memory fragments, get down to minimum price and buy them up.
I'm sure they'll fix it if you can actually do that.
So I'm happy they're doing stuff for BDO partners, but I still stand by my decision for leaving and just focusing on my own shit. You know, and if they ever want me back, they can message me. But
what would it take for you to reach out to them and come back?
I actually already did.
Okay.
I sent Emery a message. Of course, he didn't respond. I don't know if I did it like as a joke or whatever. I was curious if he'd respond and what he'd respond with, because there was a little drama between me and a couple of BDO partners since my departure. So I was just curious. I sent him like a whole thing on, what I was doing for season 2. And, I was happy to see that he's finally taking the BDO partner program seriously and being effective as a community manager, streamer manager, whatever his title is. And I got 0 response, and I am just fine with that.
There was something that I saw. It's been in development for about 4 months. They basically the account associated with the Twitch drops or something. So it's been roughly about 4 months since the original reach out, which would line up almost correctly with the timeline with you, Tim, and Fake.
Yep.
Yeah, I think anyways, it's interesting. I hope that it helps the BDO as a whole long term. I think something like this is it's good for the majority of people out there, right? And on September 2nd, all Twitch streamers will be able to participate, Tim. So you'll be good on that. The first week or until September 2nd is only partners, but after that, they're planning on doing it for everybody.
Okay.
So that should work out for you anyway at that point.
Yeah, but I'm playing fucking New World anyway. I wouldn't even be using this shit. This is literally the only time frame I'd be using it right now anyway. Like, I've got a war at 4:30 Pacific. I'm gonna go fucking do on New World.
4 o'clock, not 4:30. Don't be late, Tim.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna log on in like an hour.
Let's storm through some of these other topics. So Fodus Habitat and Sugarcane Metropolis got a boss. I guess it was last week they got a boss. Fodus Habitat spawns like some crates. It gives you about 2-3 million in value every time you kill it. Pretty good value. Sugarcane Metropolis, it spawns a ghost, and then the ghost basically, as you kill mobs, consumes their power, and then eventually spawns as a boss that you have to kill, which is a pretty cool idea. But here it gives you like about 500,000 to 1 million silver, so it's pretty garbage rewards for that one. I like this idea that they're kind of being very creative with these bosses. Originally, there was copy-pasting, like, boss spawns, and then get some loot. And I feel like now they're being a little bit more creative with it, and I like that they're being creative with this process. That way they're a little different from grind spot to grind spot. What do you guys think about it?
I think it's fine. I don't think it's like, game-changing or anything, but it's good that they're trying to change things up. I think... I feel like they need to just be a little bit more outside of the box with some of this stuff. But I mean, they're trying. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'd like to see more creativity sort of in the neighborhood of like Miramok, where it's more of a fundamental difference than just a slight difference type deal. But yeah.
You need more group content and social interactions. That's what you need. I don't really care if a fucking boss spawns somewhere. That doesn't matter at all. It's just more dribble.
Honestly,
it's just more dribble.
Group content would be actually pog. This other stuff is kind of just whatever.
Yeah, icing on the cake. When the cake's already sweet.
I sincerely didn't realize until you brought it up how much I miss social interactions, and we'll talk more about that later. But
So class changes. I have a few of these I want to talk about. I'll let you guys go first. What do you guys like? What do you guys not like? There's a lot in Global Lab and on the patch. So I guess
I'm
any of those.
I'm overwhelmed. I don't like. I read through them before, just a couple hours ago, and I'm like, they're giving Musa more damage. Okay, it's just kind of all over the place. Magical evasion on Witch goes directly into Fissure Wave for some reason now, and then Global Labs Wizard Cataclysm is finally going to work correctly. Cataclysm into Bolide sounds like it's going to work correctly, and then Chilling Wave isn't going to be, just the stationary turret thing that you can't cast anything afterwards. So now, like, Awaken Wizard, when Succession is so completely fucking busted, is getting buffs. There's a lot that's going through there. There's a lot of numbers and modifier changes. There's a lot of DK in main hand can run 18% faster.
Whoa, dude.
Combat.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
WP
crazy.
on Dark Knight.
Like, who the fuck is asking for that?
I'm a little confused by some of them.
Having some context for some of these updates would go so far, because most people only play one class. And some of us chosen God gamers have played multiple classes. And so we can have a little bit of insight on, what's what. My only insight from Dark Knight is I mained it on BDO's version of Shadow Arena. And I loved it. It was awesome. I like that class, but without that, I'd be lost. But I'm completely lost on why they needed 18% movement speed with their main hand out in combat.
Yeah, some of the changes I don't think are going to be very high impact, but it seems like it's a lot of quality of life stuff, kind of a continuation of last week. We didn't, I guess, since we missed last week, we didn't really get a chance to talk about some of the things they did, right? Like they removed, this is actually related to Shadow Arena again. They removed the cooldown on Piercing Spear for Warrior, which they only put into the game because of Shadow Arena to begin with. And so, it's been a year and a half since Warrior Spear was made so you couldn't use it on cooldown. And finally, Warriors, now that they're actually listening to Warriors who play the game rather than, just doing everything on paper, they're fixing it. They're making it fun again. Imagine that.
I think the main thing that's really interesting about this is that I think Probus is noticing that, all right, we're listening to players, we're doing all these quality of life changes, and no one's really complaining. There's a few little things here and there, but there's no major complaints. The community didn't have a meltdown like they had like the last 5 times they've tried this. And I think that really is going to be a telltale sign for Probus that they really need to start taking a bigger approach to community feedback in a really positive way. So I'm looking forward to see what this might turn into. Things that I noticed that I hope that they look at a little bit more would be things like they added an iframe to shake it off on Zerker, but when it's on cooldown, you don't have an iframe anymore. So the problem is now in PvP, when you see a Zerker dude shake it off, you don't know if he's an iframe or if he's not an iframe. And it's sort of the same thing with Musa and his dash. Musa has his dash, and he does his dash, and it's sometimes an iframe. Every 4 seconds is an iframe. And then other times it is...
That's the case with almost every class that has some kind of spammable movement skill, though.
Well, the thing is, I don't like them adding more of that. I think that's a problem that they need to start looking at. Like now crosscut on Musa. So now crosscut is going to be super armor when you have it off of cooldown, but when it's on cooldown, it's not going to be super armor. So you're not going to know as a player fighting a Musa what you're supposed to do. You don't know if you need to use a grab, if he's going to be in super armor.
And crosscut it's pretty obvious if a Musa's crosscut is protected or not. If he's spamming it, he's not safe. If he uses it once and goes into backflow, he is safe.
That might be true in 1v1s, but I'm saying like when you start scaling up into 2v2s, 3v3s, it gets to the point where you just can't keep track of it all in your head.
Musas aren't spamming crosscut in PvP. Like if they are, they just lose automatically. I don't think it's that big of a deal. This is
my point is not that this is not like my sword to die on, right? But it's just my point is I don't like these type of changes. Like long term, I don't like these changes long term because it just makes the game more complicated and more nuanced in areas that don't need to be more complicated or nuanced.
I'm not seeing it. I mean, the alternative is to make it so that crosscut's not spammable, which is a dogshit change. Like I think this is totally fine.
Is it? I don't know. Why can't they just make
I
it?
don't really-
either option. You could either have crosscut be permanent super armor, which would be ridiculous, or you can make it not spammable. Either one of those is a shit change, like an absolutely F tier change. I think you have to have it the way it is for certain skills, and it's like that for almost every class. I don't see it as that big of a deal. I mean, warrior head chase is the same way.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
this
really
is
want to
the-
get in an argument about Musa because I think this is the one class that desperately needs a complete rework. I think this should be the first class that they just, you know, how sometimes in games they'll just go, hey, this class is completely different. Like in League of Legends, they'll do that pretty often. I think they need to do that with Musa. I really do.
Are you really in PvP in this game? Like, other than there's some long animations where you see someone do it and you're like, okay, I can grab. Like you see a red moon or something like that, and you're like, okay, I can grab them right now. But for the most part, you're fishing for CC in this game. You're not really like, oh, he's out of super armor. This is my chance to catch him. Like the game's too desyncy for that. You're mostly just fucking throwing out CCs, and when one of them sticks, you follow up on it. Like, are you really like, oh, I'm scanning to see like which ability he's vulnerable on, especially on large scale. You're not really doing that.
I disagree.
as a sorceress, I have to actually intentionally try to hit you when you're not in a super armor because I don't have a grab. There's no grab option. And so I have to actually go out my way to make sure I memorize every single of your super armors and to make sure I hit you when you're not in a super armor. So as a sorceress, and you do a crosscut, I don't know if it's super armor or not super armor, right? For Musa, he has his dash, and I don't know if I can do damage to him or I can't do damage to him. And this is a I think it's something they need to start considering. Not necessarily. I like this is not. I don't have a problem with crosscut and Musa. I think honestly it was a nerf to how they implemented it was a nerf to Musa's crosscut. Honestly. And then like Zerker Shake It Off, like I don't really care, but it's just it's a problem that the more of these type of things that add,
Here's
the bigger
the
problem it
solution.
comes.
I'm gonna tell you the solution right now. A visual indicator for iframes and super armors. Boom! I just fixed PvP and BDO. Could you imagine?
They
if
do
you
that in
actually-
Shadow Arena.
Yeah, they do that in literally every other game that has super armor.
Yep.
New World, even Bless Unleashed has a visual indicator for super armor.
Right.
Okay.
New World does it too, yeah.
Yeah, how about we just make the player glow white when they have super armor and glow like blue or something when they have an iframe? Boom. There you go.
That's a good solution. I like it.
You imagine if Sorks glowed when they iframed, you could actually track them. Also, Potion, I really want to apologize for you. You're making Sork sound really hard, and I'm sorry that you have such a tough time having to memorize everybody's skills and stuff like that. It sounds terrible playing
Dude,
Sork.
the Sorks I fight just jump behind me 75 times until one of their knockdowns desyncs behind my forward guard and I get like plated. It just doesn't even.
So playing it, I mostly have only played slow classes for the past 2 years of BDO. Probably ever. I think Warrior is the fastest class I played, and I played that like 4 years ago. You have to, with the priority targets that you want to get, you need to count some of their skills. Like if you want to catch a witch, there's a combo that most witches use, and you need to know when to go in to grab them or CC them or pressure them. So if you're just fishing, then you're just like, that's how I kind of play Guardian now, right? Is I'm just kind of midline or backline, and I go in and I put some damage in. And every once in a while, I'll see an opportunity to put a float out or something like that. Or I'll dive in and, do my pre-awakened super armor balance and stuff like that. But for the most part, if I'm in a small scale situation, I focus on somebody who I think I can get a beat on, and then I try to find an opening. I don't really fish because I don't have enough just broad CCs like I did when I was on Witch. So Witch, double teleport, Voltaic. Sometimes you go, this is a good time to do this. And even if I don't get CCs, I'm putting damage out. So some classes, some people, yes. But in smaller scale situations, especially 1v1s, unless you're playing Sork, you really can't fish. You can't afford to.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, this is just a difference in opinions, I think, and different ways of play style and preferences and stuff like that.
You just made Sork sound hard, and I just had to make fun of you. I respect that you.
Well, Sork is I would say Sork is a very hard class to play because you have to do animation cancels and stuff. I mean, the iframe part of it is easy. Obviously, if I just want to avoid damage, I can do that all day long, no problem. The hard part is weaving animation cancels in behind all of that. But that's not my point here. My point is any class that doesn't have a grab is just not fun to play in BDO in its current state, and this amplifies that problem of non-grab classes being less fun to play in PvP. This is not necessarily a sorceress versus other thing. It's just any class without a grab problem.
I think is there a class that so no iframe, no grab classes probably would suck, but then that's Witch Wizard. Well, that's Wizard Awaken has
and
one.
which is one of the worst 1v1 classes in the game.
I'm so tired of hearing that. I'm so
true.
tired of hearing that.
It's
You want
true.
a 1v1 me on Witch, dude? Let's go. Get your trial out.
I died to a witch on my sorceress. So there was in trial gear or whatever, Oasis gear. No, it was season gear. No, if I'm going to do PvP, I'm just going to play lawn and we'll grab somebody and then run away like a bitch if messing with my grab. That's my strategy, and I'll just win every fight that way. If someone gets me down, I'll V, and I'll do escape, and I'll do permanent iframes with my 3-bit buff.
All right, let me correct you a little bit. Okay. All right, when you talk about Witch 1v1, you can say that the floor for Witch's 1v1 is very low because it's not a bad 1v1 class.
I hate this conversation.
I don't fucking care. So that I was done. The conversation's over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I hope it's something that you look at. I don't like if they add an indicator. I think the indicator idea is like that would solve this entire thing. We would not have a conversation argument here at all because an indicator just would solve all my problems because then I would know when people are in iframe or super armor or frontal guard or whatever.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I think an indicator would be huge. I really like the idea. All right, let's go into AP DP brackets got added. We already talked about this before. They're just new ones. Have you guys seen any changes in the game because of that?
I haven't played the game, so I don't know.
I didn't really notice anything. I'm not high enough AP or DP for this to matter to me right now.
We haven't been. I think we've only done one war null, maybe two since the changes because we were afraid of the insane time to kill. So T1s are kind of in a weird spot.
Well,
I was considering marking in for Siege tonight, though.
Yeah, speaking of Siege, they made it where the HP bonus is now 1,000 HP, and you don't lose 500 HP every week. So this is a static 1,000 HP now. I think this is good. Is it good?
So let's recap on what they did with Siege, right? So the DP brackets were in no way, shape, or form a buff to DR at all. It was a buff to evasion builds. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad we're clearing that up.
Yep. Yeah. And now they gave us 5,000 HP in Siege to deal with time to kill. But now they're peeling that back and then buffing evasion. So they just made Siege worse again.
Yeah. I think what they
I think that I like the new DR percent brackets because they slow time to kill and they give people a reason. They give people more of a reason to progress their like defensive stats. Like there's actually more of a payoff to doing that. So I think it was a good change. I think both those things needed to happen. I just think there was a way better way of doing it, which would be to actually buff the DR formula. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. So this is kind of like the next best thing.
Do you think
I think without that third thing, this is terrible changes. I think without that third thing, this is bad. I don't think anybody wants evasion builds to be god tier. It's not fun fighting somebody who has a shitload of evasion. It's not.
I think they should change the DP brackets to DR brackets. So what you do is if you scales off your total DR, and I think that would be a better way of doing it. That way, if someone builds Urgons, you have more DR, and your Griffin Helmet, you have more DR. That way, the evasion builds would get less of a benefit.
Though they're DR brackets, but you build evasion and then just get sheet DP.
I'm saying you would build it scales off. You only get it based on your DR you have, not your DP.
They need to change the formula. That's the answer.
Yeah.
They need to change.
Exactly. If DR percentage was based on only your DR instead of your sheet, then yeah, that would be a good change. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do it. Yeah. We used to think DR percentage was a percentage increase to your DR, right? Like that's what it sounds like, damage reduction rate with a percentage. Everyone assumed for the first year that, the Renown stuff came out that was scaling your DR. And then once it was finally tested, it was like, oh, this is just a flat reduction. Like this is just a percent reduction. This is actually more beneficial to evasion builds because evasion builds have more effective health to begin with. So again, DR gets shafted. And then, like I keep hoping also that they're going to fix this problem with the new armor pieces. It kind of seemed like they were going that direction with Dead God, where you were just going to transfer your gear into the next thing, and then the whole evasion versus DR thing would kind of die out. But they just announced Black Star helmet, and it's a Gaiath helm with like 1 Caphras level in it.
Yeah.
It's so bad, dude. It's so bad and useless. And like, unless the Dead God helmet has a version where it has like the same amount of evasion as a heave, but more DR, then I mean, I just don't like. I wish they played the game. It just always comes back to like, I would just wish they played their own game. Like, do they? I
We
wish
play
they
our
would talk
game. We're insulted that you say you won't play our game.
So I've got a little bit of a small rabbit hole just for a second.
Sure.
I noticed with my AP increases that I've gotten, massive AP increases over the past 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it's been, that Sakraya is massively easier for me to survive in. And I know there was a little bit of conspiracy that when they removed Renown, that maybe they didn't actually remove Renown. Do you think that's a possibility? Because I feel tankier with considerably less DP in PvP and PvE.
You leveled
I'm
up?
at 531 DP. I used to be 351 DP. I'm a little dyslexic. I apologize. 351 DP, and I used to be 362. And everything, all my tankiness is way up.
Are you did you level up in the process anywhere?
So wait, what's the conspiracy theory?
62 to 63, that there may be some form of renown still in the game.
The way that works is that when you level up, the monsters hit you less often. Their accuracy rate is decreased, and then your accuracy rate is increased against them. So you'll hit more of your attacks, and they'll hit less of their attacks. And then
didn't what's his name disprove that?
No, that's a real thing. It's pretty easy to look at.
I think Big and Shiny disproved that.
It's really easy to prove it. You just go to a spot, put in the same gear in your character, and go try to hit at level 1, go try to hit a mob in Medea with the same gear. You won't be able to do it.
Yeah, level 1, but I think 60 plus it might all be flattened.
It doesn't apply to PvP. That's what changed. There's no benefit 61, 62, 63 in PvP, but there is still a benefit in PvE.
I do feel tankier though, just in general, even in PvP.
I want like the HP journal and shit like that.
Say that again.
It could be.
I mean, we've all got more HP now because of the journal. You would have gained another 1%, like that up to 346. Now gains another 1% reduction compared to what it did before. They squished it a little bit when they changed the DR percent brackets.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So that's, I mean, probably not noticeable, but
it's so palpable. It really made me go, man.
It's
I've gained so
roughly.
much AP. I've gained so much AP. And I've gained a little HP, but I've lost DP. But I am considerably tankier in every situation. I just went.
It's about
3%
difference. In here? I tested this back in the day at Sawson's again because I was leveled up there, and it's about 3%. You hit the monsters about 3% more, and they hit you about 3% less every time you level up.
After 60.
Yeah, it's roughly 3%. And then what they do with the loot in order to make a loot where because if you're hitting 3% more often, then you're going to be getting more loot, right? And so you would see a noticeable increase in loot. And the way they tried to avoid that is they tried to decrease your loot by roughly 3% also. So if ideally if they balance this perfectly, which they've done a pretty good job of, then you basically don't see a difference in trash loot or anything as you level up. This is why people who are like level 60 and go into Histria, they when they get 61, they magically start getting more trash loot. It's because they're not getting a decrease in loot anymore, and they also got a big accuracy increase.
I'm kind of skeptical of all this. I want to see the actual test data.
It's you can test it. You can test it for like Histria and Sakraya and Ash Forest. So Histria, the optimal level is 63, based on how the accuracy and loot works. It's the most optimal level for both getting loot and killing them efficiently. If you level up, you still get to kill them easier and easier and easier and easier, but the loot exchange is slightly less. So like 63 is like the most optimal level to be grinding Histria at, and 64 is the most optimal level for Sakraya, and 65 is the most optimal level for Ash Forest.
So I think I just hate how convoluted and unclear this game is. You know, and God bless people doing tests like you with the accuracy and Big and Shiny, who can never stop testing stuff. But we know there's ninja patches that happen, and a week's old data could be completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I just had that thought. I'm like, man, I've gained AP and I've lost EP, and I feel way tankier. And I guess I have the T4 potion fairy now too. I could just be making gains and selling them short, but
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both. Probably a little bit of both.
I just had a little bit of a rabbit hole. I'm like, I was always skeptical if they actually removed Renown anyway. So,
well, you got to think about it, right? If you're way low level at a spot, you don't hit the mobs at all, and they basically one shot you. And then if you got to think if you're way over leveled to the monster, you one shot the mob, and they never can hit you. Like if you go to a low end spot, and you just barely tap them with like 1 AP on, they'll come up to you and they'll whack you, and they just never hit you. They never ever hit you.
Yeah, let him through, please. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
trying to
So
sell my ult out.
you can actually get like 1 AP on a character, go to like a low end spot, and like get a low end monster to hit you. But you can have no armor on whatsoever, and then they'll just be there just whacking you a million times, and they'll just never hit you. They'll hit you maybe once out of like 50 times or something. So you can go and test this pretty easily at like lower end spots. The hard part is going in there and not one shotting them. So getting some gear that you can put on that doesn't one shot them. But you can test it pretty easily.
All right. So what's next?
All right. Next on the agenda is talking about the changed siege revive timer, siege 1000 HP. We talked about that. Gatekeepers and field bosses. Field bosses are awesome now, and gatekeepers still suck. Is that the consensus? I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, gatekeepers almost have to suck. Like, there's really no way that they can balance gatekeepers in the current form of the game without just making them completely overpowered or completely pointless.
I feel like just make the cooldown short on them. Make it where it's a very short cooldown, so you can just go to one gatekeeper and just farm it over and over again. Or maybe go to like 2.
Why they did it at all. It just makes sense to me.
Yeah, just reviving old content. I think the cooldown should either be extremely random to the point where you can't actually find one reliably, or
who's going to do them? If they're random, that's the problem. Like if they make them random, then you can't do them efficiently. And
I
if
think
they make them not random but good, then people will just lock them down. I mean, I don't know. Like they need to tie them into other nearby content. I think if they added more party grind spots, like if new players could grind Nagas as a 5-man group and each get their own loot, and then they could spawn the gatekeeper similar to like Monastery or something, maybe that would work. But I don't know. Like gatekeepers weren't really a good mechanic to begin with. They were just insane money, and so we all killed ourselves playing for 18 hours a day doing them. But I wouldn't say they were like particularly well designed at any point in the game.
I agree they're not well designed. This is sort of an idea, and obviously there's multiple ideas to solve this particular problem. My idea is that if you make the timers extremely randomized, then what would happen is you might just occasionally find one, but the loot would be so good on it that you would just, hey, I found one, like, yeah, go over here, let's go kill it.
That would be good. That would be good. There should be things like that all over the game, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if there were field bosses that just spawned randomly. There's so much empty space in Black Desert. Like we talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you could go like island hopping, searching for like some island boss that has a random chance of spawning, and everyone who kills that boss gets like a shitload of loot. So you find him, and then you like spam your guild chat to get people out there so that you can kill it before some other guild does. Like it would give people a reason to actually go out and explore and like look for things. They would actually have a payoff when they found something. The same thing with the desert, right? Like killing Laytons in the desert for Layton's Power Stone was supposed to be a big deal, and then it turned out to just be dog shit. They could actually have like a desert boss who spawns randomly, and it gives people a reason to go around looking for it. And I don't know, that would be fun. But
the alternative is you make the respawn timer extremely short, so basically you can just always have one, like a rotation. So you'd be doing like 2 gatekeepers, maybe like 2 Fogan gatekeepers, and you just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And that would be the other way they could do it. They could either make it where it's so random and it's buff the loot out the wazoo, so that if you do happen to find one, it's just totally worth doing. Or the other option is make it where it's extremely common, and you just go back and forth between like 2 gatekeepers. on any channel because the cooldown is so short. And those are like the two strategies that would work. The current strategy is it's on a very long timer that's very predictable, which means either the strongest guilds in the game control it or nobody does it. That's the two options right now, which neither one of those are good. So I think if they need to look at the respawn rate of gatekeepers and determine how they want to change that. And once they do that, then they can buff the loot appropriately.
I'm glad field bosses are back. I think that was a really good change.
My favorite thing about it is that you can actually chain bosses again. That was something I missed. They removed that for console because they didn't want people hopping channel. They thought that was a bad mechanic, and so now you can actually go to a field boss and chain channels on a field bosses because they're not locked. They don't have locked health bars with all channels. So you can actually go out and like make pretty good money if you sync up with like a Discord group that's doing it.
Yeah, chaining bosses was like a lot of people liked doing that back in the day. So when they started taking that away, I don't think that was a move in the right direction. I like the way it is now, or with these bosses, and I like the fact that they're buffed.
Yeah, does anyone know how much Caphras you get on average per boss? It's a pretty good amount of Ancient Spirit Dust you get. I hear it's like 30 million or something, but I'm not entirely sure if that's true. Anyway, I want to try it out.
I just heard that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm still not leaving stars in for it. I used to leave grind spots for world bosses.
Yeah, I used to do that too, or have a boss alt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not losing my grind spots to go to a boss for 15 minutes and get some dust.
Remember when we used to have PvP at world bosses?
Can you PvP at field bosses?
Nope. Wait, yeah, you can.
I think so. And no reason why you couldn't. Right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be some really good content. Low key, I think that's going to be some of the best content in the game because you're going to have guilds of rivalries. They're going to be there and be like, we're going to control this field boss. We're going to kill everybody who shows up. You're getting a deck. You're getting a deck. And then just go up there and just try to control it.
That's sweaty about it. They're not that good. Like back in the day, field bosses were the best content in the game. Like they were the best loot in the game. So yeah, people would lock them down, but I don't think people are going to be that sweaty about it in 2020. They'd have to buff them way more than they did.
Yeah.
Someone says he gets 110 Caphras dust overall, so 20 Caphras for one run. It's pretty insane.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it out. I'll probably give you guys feedback on that next week.
For the Blackstone market too.
Now, speaking of field bosses, they changed muster. Where I think, if I'm understanding this right, the translation was a little weird from Google Translate. That muster on Global Labs now runs into grind spots and starts killing monsters now.
In Serendia.
Yeah, in Serendia. He runs around Serendia killing monsters at grind spots now, which I think is really awesome. Makes the world feel a lot more alive. So you can just be at a grind spot on your new tune and Muster just goes and starts killing the monsters over there, And I think I do
actually like that.
I like that a lot. If that's how it actually works, I'm going to be very happy. And
I think he should kill AFK Fishers and Heidel.
Yeah, I think he also has a chance of spawning like smaller versions of himself. So if you kill the big one, then you basically split him into like small. He has a chance to split into smaller monsters, and you can kill those for even more.
You have so many ideas, man.
No. That's why I read on the Global Lab. That's not an idea. That's like an actual thing that, if I'm reading correctly, is what they did. Like it's not a made up idea. That's like actual Global Lab. The Google Translate's strange on it.
You need to read the Global Lab patch notes off BD Foundry.
Is that where you go to for it?
Yeah, don't Google Translate.
But yeah, that's if I'm reading correctly, that's what it looks like it does, which is going to be pretty interesting.
I didn't read that, but
they have a lot of changes on Global Lab to go through this week. We're getting a 1v1 arena on this week's patch. So the 1v1 arena is part of the battle arena. Battle arenas are getting their own servers, just like Red Battlefield. The reason they're doing this is because basically people were using trading bots, and then they would teleport to a battle arena. Then they would use hacks to jump over the invisible wall, and then they would go and trade them in across the game world, so for maximum distance.
Bro, they did that like 2 years ago. That's the fix, really? I
Yeah,
thought they were just trying to make it less laggy for PvP. Did they actually just figure out that people are doing that? We literally reported that in 2018.
Yeah, so
Yep.
that's the reason. That's one of the reasons we're doing it. And maybe there's going to be a secondary benefit of better servers. I hope. I haven't tried the new Red Battlefield, so maybe that would be an indicator.
RBF
But
felt the same to me.
one of the cool things they're doing with it is they added a 1v1 arena. So in there, by the guy where you buy potions, there's going to be that little segment there is now going to be turned into a 1v1 arena. And so anybody who jumps in there is going to have a 1v1 with each other. And no one else can enter until one of them dies. And I think after that, then the other person gets kicked out, or maybe another person can jump in. So it's like a dedicated 1v1 arena, which I think is going to be really support that King of the Hill idea that people have been doing for a long time on streams. It's going to be fun.
It's so lazy, dude. It's honestly so
It is
lazy.
very lazy.
I don't know why this game can't have a queuable ranked arena. It's not that difficult.
So
what do we normally say? BDO, we were so close. This time, BDO, we almost tried. They almost tried.
I mean, they tried a little. Like, it's better than nothing. Yeah, like, I'm glad that people can do their King of the Hill thing or whatever, but, like, it's still just you and your boys in Battle Arena fucking around. There needs to be something queuable and ranked, like every other game. It's like
BDO Mobile.
Like BDO Mobile, yeah, and have a leaderboard and have an icon over your head for the people who slap in the 1v1 arena and have seasonal rewards for being the top 10. Like, come on, dude. Give us a reason to progress our gear and like do shit other than the shit fest that's Siege.
I totally agree. I think that if I hope this is like a step in the correct direction for them. Like they see this and then people have a huge interest for it, and then they're like, okay, well maybe we actually should do a 1v1 arena ranked with leaderboards and stuff. Like I don't know. I would like to see that.
Queuing up for a ranked arena would be so much easier than creating all new gear and all this convolution from going from season characters and having its own gear and translating and all that stuff. It would have been a tenth of the amount of work to give us.
Yeah, and they could have a trial character arena and a main character arena. So people who want to grind and get gear and use that can do it. And people who, just want to do the trial, everything's gear capped, everything's equal. They could do that one. They could each have their own leaderboard. Like,
you imagine a trial character arena where all the strikers just fight each other all the time?
Yeah, dude. Like everyone would just be a striker and dominates.
Yo, that striker change is crazy,
bad.
Honestly.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
There must be just a fuckload of strikers that are worse than me that for some reason need a down smash.
Well, I think the reason they did that is because they're taking feedback from biased people. Hey striker, what do you think you need? I have an idea.
Well, Mystics have reliable down smashes and we don't.
So I think that's what happened.
Are pets and they don't have damage that scales. Their damage is from 2016.
I think every single clone should down smash you. So that if you get CC'd by a striker, you just get down smashed like 20 to 30 times per combo.
And they match your AP. They don't have flat AP. Okay? Because that diminishes their gear progression by having flat AP on their pets. Right, witches?
I actually totally agree that they should scale off your gear though. Because right now they have like an 80% hit rate. And so you could have a full evasion build and go in with a striker and it avoids all that evasion. So
wait, what? Say that again?
Strikers clones have a flat hit rate against opponents.
They completely ignore evasion.
Yeah, they don't scale. They changed it to 80% a while back. It's not 100% anymore. It's like 80 or something. I forgot what they changed it to. But anyway, it just ignores all that, which I think is silly. They should scale off your own AP and your own accuracy. Why have like pets that just completely ignore an entire build in the game? This seems strange to me.
And I've been saying this for a while, dude. Guardian came out and everyone forgot how bullshit Striker is.
True.
Every class I roll off from just gets fucking buffed. You're welcome, witches, that I rolled off of it.
Whoa. Don't roll off a Guardian, please. I'm scared to see what will happen. Another change we're getting this week is Node Wars. Node Wars are getting in tier 1s are getting an HP change. So
God tier change. Actually, this we got to give them credit for this one.
yeah,
They're actually making okay. In theory, we give them credit. In practice, we need to see if these caps actually work because I'm 90% sure the current caps are bugged. But if they implement these new T1 caps and they actually function properly, then this is going to be a god tier change. And it's going to be really good for new players too who want to like get into PvP and be able to experience that without having to grind for 6 months first.
Do you like the HP changes where you get like 5,000 HP maximum and then it decreases by 500 every little bit?
I don't know. Not really, dude. I mean, that's what respawn timers are for. I don't think time to kill needs to vary from the beginning of the war to the end. Like, that seems gimmicky to me.
I think
I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's at the very least, it makes it guaranteed that Node Wars are going to end sooner. But I think you could do the same thing, like you said, with respawn timers.
I don't know if anybody who's doing T1s at the end of a 2-hour T1 goes, wow, I really wish this would have a conclusion. There's like 14 forts on these T1s.
Yeah, they're fucking crazy.
They're so much fun. And then the time to kill is, I thought it was the reason I was playing it was the time to kill. So I'm really fucking nervous at them making these big bracket changes where we can only have 7% and stuff. But I guess they're trying to give it its own identity.
They're lowering the AP caps too, though. So I think time to kill will still be slow.
But are they? We have to trust them so much with this, where something was already working pretty goddamn well to the point where tons of people were playing it. Now they're making some fairly radical changes on it. I'm fucking nervous.
True.
That the best version of PvP that I've had in 2+ years, outside of having a really fun community, is now being radically changed.
I think on paper it looks really good. So if they implement it the way that they're saying it's going to be implemented, I'm optimistic. Of course, there's a possibility that it's broken. I would say a significant possibility, but I'm optimistic that it's going to work. Like,
I don't know. I don't think 300 DP is enough, even against 230 AP. I remember those days, and I got melted. And then you can only have 5k HP and 7% DR. I don't agree with you on the on paper thing.
Nobody had 300 DP back when people had 230 AP. 300 DP would have been a shitload back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's not. I just on paper.
I think we'll wait and see. Wait and see is probably the best thing. But speculation on it.
Sure. Season PvP, like my season character was like 220, 280, and I was able to fight people who had full pin, even though I was only full tet.
Right, without high-end gems, without Kaffir's levels, without all this stuff that we're fairly certain that there's something that's not being capped. So if they went back and fixed that, that would have been nice to know.
That's the gamble. Our Kaffir's level is still going to be bugged. How is the cap applying to evasion instead of DR? Like, which stat is it choosing to cap? Yeah, I think there's still some weirdness. We need Big and Shiny to save us at this point. We need Big and Shiny to just figure out how the caps work. But he probably can't do that properly until after this change gets implemented, because maybe they find a bug with the caps while they're changing them and they finally address it. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a ninja fix when these caps get implemented.
What do you need to drop a T1 node? Do you need a certain amount of people in your guild or something? Or because I have funds in Aftershock and Potion loves doing tests.
I am out of Aftershock.
Oh, you left?
Yeah. Someone decked us somehow. So I just left the guild. I made a big drama about it. I was hoping someone would post on Reddit.
Could have put your protection.
I'm actually just going to join my spell guild and I just leave, kick myself out every so often. So
somebody decked Aftershock, really?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. I think maybe they also were a non-Node War guild, and so then I think non-Node War guilds can deck each other still.
Yeah, I can't deck. I'm in Null, and I can't deck Aftershock.
Yeah, so I think non-Node War guilds can deck each other, and then Node War guilds can deck each other. So I think they were non-Node War guild that decked. So they got mad. I don't know why. I 2v1 them, and then they didn't like that, so they brought 4 people, and then I out-farmed them, and they didn't really like that either.
How about you live with your consequences?
Oh, I'm just
Sounds
stirring the
exactly
pot
like
right
Aftershock.
now. It's just free content for me, so they keep on coming back, bros. Keep on coming back. I'll stir that content pot. So
What's next?
let's see. Crow's Nest got buffed. I forgot what happened. Black Star Helmet came out, so that's actually pretty pog.
Well, didn't.
Nope.
Oh, on Global Lab it came out.
Yeah, no, it's trash. It's a C1.
Yeah,
Guy.
Black Star Helmet is a noob trap. Big
Yep.
noob trap. It's even a worse noob trap than the armor.
What do you think they
Yep.
need to do to it? What do you want done with it, and what do you think should be done with it?
Nothing.
What needs to be done with the Black Star Helmet is it needs to have the same amount of evasion as a pin heave, but more DR. That's what the Black Star Helmet needs to be, or the Dead God Helmet. If Black Star is just a stepping stone into Dead God, like the armor, I guess that's okay. It's still going to be kind of shitty, but like it needs to be an actual in the game piece of gear. The best helmet in the game needs to stop being a green helmet. It's silly. Like it just demonstrates that the devs don't understand how the game is being played and how defensive stats work.
Yep. I mean, it's been that way for years now. So
I want to go back and say I hate the HP cap on T1s real quick. I really do hate that. I don't think the game is designed around that, and I think it's lazy and stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for people who spent a bunch of money on specifically getting like Ruins and Voltara and other HP items that are now not going to have any use because they invested in T1s.
There's some classes that are designed to have more than 5,000 HP that won't perform as well because of that. Like that's a cost benefit analysis of playing that. So capping it at all is fucking stupid.
like Zerkers, the whole class is based around having more HP than your average class.
Guardians, Warrior.
Yep.
Well, depending on how evasion and DR are getting capped, it might be the same thing for other defensive stats too. I mean, if it's splitting, if like let's say the 300 DP cap takes 150 DR and 150 evasion, that's going to affect different classes differently as well, right? Like some classes would want to go all in on evasion, and they have buffs that scale their evasion, so they're going to get punished more by that cap than others. So I think the same thing is happening with the HP cap.
Maybe I feel like it benefits fuck classes like Ninja, Kuno, Sork, and stuff because they don't have high HP, but there's no cap on iframes. So somebody like me who's slow and stands out in front and uses that HP, I'm now capped where, you know, these fuck around classes still have all their iframes and their stuff. That's not getting capped.
Yeah, I think it just adds another layer of convolution to it all. I think the idea of respawns being changed is the best idea. That's the proper way of handling it.
I know we don't want to speculate too much, but I needed to go back for a second and really express my distaste for you're fucking with effective health in a way that is not even in any way, shape, or form.
It's unnatural. It's unnatural. That's the thing. You've been bouncing the game for years, and now you're doing an unnatural way of bouncing it. Like they're adding HP for Siege, but then subtracting HP from the lower fights.
At least they have their focus on Node War. So if it's bad, we're not going to have to wait years like we do on Siege with Mercs.
True.
Yeah. So on that topic, someone's saying that they removed the T2 cap on Global Lab.
Yep.
That's actually really good because the T2 cap was absurd. The AP limit was super high and the DP limit was super low. So it would have actually been more one-shotty than open world PvP. So I still think T2 should have some kind of gear squish on it. Maybe not a cap, but maybe like over a certain amount, you only get half of your gear or something. Kind of like, again, like what Albion does with Hellgates. But I'd rather have no cap than the previous cap that was proposed because the previous cap actually made the game more glassy and more ridiculous.
You're thinking something along the lines of like tier 1s have hard caps, and then tier 2s soft caps, and then tier 3s you're unlocked again.
Yeah, I think that's the best way of doing it.
Yeah, that seems awesome. I like that idea because it gives like a form of progression towards your gear.
Gear Squish is awesome. I love Gear Squish. I really do. It makes it competitive, but you still have an edge. There's still a reason to go out there and get it done.
Yeah, you have a chance to beat someone with better gear than you, but at the same time, the person who has better gear feels like they're still getting some value.
Yeah, Gear Squish is great.
Yeah, I hope they do that.
Sorry.
Yeah,
sorry to bring it back.
Good. I mean, it was a good topic. We needed to discuss it more. Let's see. There's a new AP ring on Global Lab, and it has bonus accuracy on it compared to normal rings. I think they want it to be an accuracy ring, but I think at pin it's 28 accuracy, which is just absurdly low. I think they need to. I think it's 18 AP and 24 accuracy at pin, and I really feel like that's just it's not enough AP to be interesting, and the accuracy is too low where it's literally a non-factor.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of pog. I mean, it's not quite as good as the belt, right? Like the
belt's too
Trigan- or
strong.
the
Yeah,
Odalita belt's got how much does the Odalita belt have at Penn? Like 30, low 30s?
I think it's like 40 something, and then like the AP
Oh,
is like
40.
it's something insane. They buffed it from when it originally came out, because originally it was too weak, and then people gave feedback they should add accuracy. Well, they added AP and accuracy to it, so it's just
That's 17 AP, 30 accuracy on the belt. So I mean, the ring is what 18, 28?
At pen or tet?
Let's see
Oh,
here.
34. Yeah, maybe that's tet. So pin would be what 19, 34.
Yeah, so a pin of the new ring is 28 accuracy and 18 AP. And
20 or 28? I'm sorry, you said 28 accuracy?
28 accuracy and 18 AP. And I feel like for an accuracy earring or accuracy ring, it should be enough accuracy to counter an evasion build, not just be equal to an evasion item. And I feel like that's what they need to have for that. I think they should remove maybe 1 or 2 AP from it and make it like 60 accuracy on that thing.
It's a pretty good trade-off, honestly, man. I have to seriously consider using those instead of Tungrads. It's gonna, if those, depending on the price, that could be the new best ring in the game.
Yeah. I'm with Moreland on this one.
Losing 1 AP bracket to gain another like 4% hit rates or more is really, really good. That's a good trade-off for PvP.
I'm just thinking about against evasion builds. That's my thing. It's like if you put that on, you're gonna be able to fight an evasion build, and that'll be good. But it's not gonna be a counter to an evasion build.
It absolutely is a counter to evasion. You will. I guarantee you that is a DPS increase against any in-game evasion build.
Yes, I'm not saying it's, but an evasion build would be equal to it. So if you have a full evasion build and you have these accuracy rings on, you would basically be equal to each other. I think it needs to be bigger. Yeah, I think.
But if the belt is already so big, you need to consider the other accessories that are coming out too. If the belt's already so big and you have 2 rings, right? So you're talking about a net increase over Tet, over Tungrad at 10 each. So you got 20 here. You've got 30 on the belt. That's a fuckload of accuracy. Plus, everybody's running Kudum now. You stuff Kaffir's in there. You start getting more accuracy from there. I got Pen Kudum, and I instantly put Kaffir's in there for the accuracy because why the fuck not? And then your Awakening Weapon and main hand can get accuracy as well if you're running a Kaffir's main hand.
So belt is 1734, ring is 1828. I think that's perfect, dude. I think they actually nailed it. Like, it's a little bit more AP, a little bit less accuracy. The trade-offs for both compared to Tungrad are in the same kind of range. I honestly think they nailed it.
We're already trading out Nuver for Kudum. We're already going, our AP's too high. We need to bring it down for other stats, and they're giving us items to do that outside of just going, well, I'm going to run Kudum now because why would you be 316 Nuver?
My argument here is that
this solves the problem of evasion being the clear overpowered build at endgame. If more people start building these pieces, if everyone has an extra 50 accuracy because they go Tauros and these other rings instead of full Tungrad, and they lose 1 or 2 AP brackets as a result, that extra accuracy is going to be crushing a lot of evasion builds.
My idea here is like sort of the Dawn Earring. The Dawn Earring is 38 accuracy and 14 AP, and that's at pin. Comparing that to a red coral, let me pull it up.
Yeah, Dawn Earrings are kind of bad, right? I mean, Dawn Earrings probably need to be buffed.
Compared to Red Coral has 34 accuracy on it and 12 AP. So what they did is they added 2 AP and they added 4 accuracy, and it's not really enough. And it's not enough to counter an evasion build.
We knew Dawn Earrings were bad. We talked about that when they came out. We're like, that's not enough AP and or accuracy. It's just a bad item.
So that's why I'm thinking I would like an item. This is personal preference. I'll caveat what I'm saying. Personal preference. I would rather have 2 less AP on this, sacrifice more AP, but a lot more accuracy. That way I can counter those evasion builds more so. And if I'm choosing that, I'm choosing to have a lot of accuracy.
I don't disagree with that.
I know what Dawn Earring is. It's a bigger...
No, I'm talking about the ring.
I mean, if the thing is, if you lose too much AP on the ring, it just becomes a Dawn ring. Like it'll suffer from the same problem that Dawn suffers from.
No, Dawn suffers from not having enough accuracy and losing AP. There's not
it's
enough.
both.
Give and take. Yeah, it's both. Dawn earring's just a bad earring.
And I do think the current ring in its current form, I think it's fine, but a personal preference, I would prefer something with more accuracy and less AP, because I'm fine with losing AP to have more accuracy. I'm totally fine with that. I think that's a good thing. I just want more accuracy and less AP on it.
I understand what you're saying better now. I'm with
Yeah.
you on that. I get it. I get where you're coming from, at least. With the Dawn earring being the way that it is, they should have probably one that's more suffering on AP with a higher accuracy return.
You could just use it offhand for that. I don't know. I think they totally nailed it. If you really want a fat drop to AP and a fat increase to accuracy, then get a Vanguards. Like, boom, problem solved.
Not every class has a Vanguards, though.
Yeah, there's a few classes that don't have it.
Yeah.
There's not a Vanguards equivalent for every class?
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 classes that don't have one.
No. Which classes?
I'd have to go look it up, but there's 1 or 2 that don't have it. Yeah, let me see if I can find out which one it is.
I think they changed that years ago. They normalized the evasion offhands are different. There's some classes that don't have an evasion offhand, but everybody has a Vanguard's equivalent now.
Oh, am I mistaking that for the evasion? There's the dagger, right? There's a evasion dagger.
Like carrying dagger, kite shield, that stuff is different. But there's a Vanguard's equivalent for every class.
Is there? Okay. I was thinking of the parrying dagger. My bad.
I mean, that's a godly trade-off between if you want a big drop. I just made a pin Vanguards to go with the Black Star, and like that's I'm gonna be using that against like a hard evasion builds. I think that's where you get your big AP decrease in exchange for you get 100 accuracy on that pin accuracy offhand.
But a lot of people are using like parrying daggers with 269 AP or something, so they're hitting
Yeah, but
yeah, I don't know.
If you made the ring a bigger AP trade-off, and people are going to try to use that with parrying daggers, that's going to actually hurt those builds even more.
You're right.
You can't have enough AP.
I don't think a green item, Moreland, should be the go-to item. I'm fine if the people choose the ring over the parrying dagger or the Vanguards or whatever the accuracy offhand is.
Well, that's a separate issue. I mean, if they want to make a boss Vanguards, I'm okay with that too, but that's a separate issue.
Yeah, that's my point here is I think that ring should be more advantageous to go for an accuracy AP build than a green item that is literally 4 years old. It's the same thing with heave, right? I don't want people to be going for heave, right? That's pretty consensus. Like everybody agrees with that. It's the same thing with the accuracy offhand. That just should not be an item that's advantageous to go for.
I agree with that, but again, I think the solution to that is to make a pin accuracy or to make a boss accuracy offhand. I don't think the solution is to fuck with this new ring. I think this new ring is great.
Okay.
Well, that's fair.
Good points. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
What's the next potion?
And I think that drops an Orderlito, by the way, for that new ring. So when that comes out, we'll get a new ring, accuracy ring, and belt. So that'll be cool.
When Shadowlands coming out? Because Odalita's then, right?
October.
Oh yeah,
October.
Odalita release date, boys. October 27th. What's the closest Wednesday to fucking October 27th? They do their patches on Tuesday, right?
Well, I hope that actually comes out. You can also make your own premium outfit now. You can go and grind an Odalito.
Odalita comes out October 21st to beat Shadowlands.
Amazing.
They will. I'm trying to think what it's called. They have a new costume you can grind in Odalito. So you basically go and grind spots. And that's why we're seeing these Odalito changes, because Shadowlands is on the way. And you can basically grind there. And if you grind enough of these parts, you can actually craft your own premium outfit. It looks very similar to like the skeleton outfit they have for Warrior right now. It's kind of like looks like something like that, or maybe like a Black Spirit kind of knockoff theme. The female is perfect. It has a nice little cutout from the bone plate mail so you can see your tits. That's exactly what I wanted. The male one, and then you have a little cutout for her eyes too. So it looks like you're cosplaying on the female, but the male character, he has like these like demon red eyes on his helmet. It looks fucking sick.
So Potion, what's your two favorite features on the female body?
The feet and the hands. All right, next question, Tim. What do you guys think about? What do you think about people?
So red.
What do you guys think about actually this new costume though? Like, do you think it's good that people can grind for a premium costume? I'm personally like in favor of like, why would you do this when, like, I don't mind if people can do this, but I think that it's sort of like, all right, we would rather you remove some type of pay to win and keep all costumes, payable only.
I have been grinding for the Karlstein costume since I re-rolled Guardian, and I currently have 57 tokens. And I'm 63 and like 20% or something, or 15%. So, is it actually achievable? Would be my first question.
That's a good question.
So I like the idea that there is visual progression in the game that you can earn rather than just buy. I was just, one of the things I equipped this pin Blackstar that I bought. That I don't know if I mentioned to you guys that I got a pin Blackstar, but I was equipping it.
You got pin Blackstar? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we can keep talking about that if you want.
Yeah,
but
please.
I equipped it, and it's like it looks the same as a regular Blackstar. So the icon in my inventory is hype, but it would be cool if it actually looked like a fucking pin Blackstar in the game. So yeah, I wish there was more visual progression. I wish boss gear in this game didn't look like shit. I mean, almost every piece of boss gear in this game looks like it was made in MS Paint. Like it looks like it belongs in Fall Guys. It looks fucking retarded.
Red nose.
Red nose is okay. Yeah, red nose is pretty good.
Red nose is okay, and Dandy's okay.
It also looks a little bit too similar to like Reblath though.
Dimtree literally looks like you rolled a turd in some grass. It looks terrible.
It's cozy.
Oh, sorry, pajamas.
Thank you.
Gaiath helmet looks sweet. Griffin helmet looks stupid. Beg's gloves, stupid. Muskin boots, I look like you have a disease on your feet. I mean, it's all so bad. So yeah, if you can like do something in Odalita that takes a while or is challenging, or like if I don't know if it's going to be like an infinite potion thing where it takes a while to get this and then you can show it off. I'm cool with that. There should be other ways to visually progress your character besides just paying money. So I think it's a good thing, depending on as long as it's like Tim said, actually achievable.
Yeah, I'm curious about the achievable part. That'll be good.
They should put unique costumes in the Imperial Auction House, man. Imagine that. If people had to bid for them, like the Black Pegasus, like whatever happened to the Imperial Auction House?
They did Black Pegasus one time, and then they never added anything else into it. Yeah, they have to add it in manually is the problem, and the developers just do not have the time to be fucked to add that in manually every week.
Bro, it's got to be so easy to add.
It's got to not be hard. It's got to be super easy.
That is new Develia right now to rod tap my Blackstar so I can take the wind out of your sails.
Good luck.
Thanks.
There's a new offhand crystal. It looks to be better than it's sort of like you have to combine, I think, Voltara and something else maybe, but it's like a better Voltara. It's a better Awakened Black Spirit crystal.
I would never use it.
How much better? Does it have crit damage or not?
Let's see.
No crit damage, no use.
Yep. It's 5 AP to monsters.
And 175 HP.
There's one other stat on it. I forgot what it was off the top of my head.
Skill experience gain plus 5%.
That's literally a shy crystal.
I think it might be good for PvEers. I think it might be really good for PvEers, but that's about it.
You get a certain amount of AP, crit damage just outscales hidden AP. I mean,
easily.
Like, hard. Especially when you have frenzies and simple meals working buffs that the way that they do. Like an extra 10 hidden AP just won't fucking matter. Or 20, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's it.
And they're capping and fucking with HP anyway, so why would you put that in your offhand?
True.
Yeah. Well, let's jump on to New World and Mortal Shell. So, I'll be right back.
Mortal Shell I can do pretty quickly. The game ended up being fantastic for about 5 hours, and then kind of tedious in the last part. There's 1/3 of the game that's like very unfinished and slow and annoying. And then all the fights were way too easy. And playing it through a second time is super unsatisfying because even in New Game Plus, the game is just extremely easy once you level up and learn your skills.
Really?
So, I mean, the game runs really well. The animations are really clean. The combat feels really good. I hope that they make a Mortal Shell 2 now that they have some money. I think the studio has a lot of promise. But yeah, I mean, it's clearly like, even though it looks like a AAA game, it's clearly like an indie game that didn't have a huge budget, because at the end, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to feel like they didn't even get their $30 worth. You can beat the entire thing in less than 10 hours, even on a blind playthrough.
Was it only $30, really?
Yeah.
And you weren't
There's
skeptical of it?
no way they could have charged 60 for that game.
It was a $30 Souls-like game, and you were not skeptical of it.
It looked really good, man. And like it was worth the $30, even though I only got about 10 hours out of it. I really enjoyed the game for almost all that time, except for that one Obsidian level, which was dog shit. It was like Lost Izalith. But I really enjoyed the game, dude. I like want to support those guys and see what else they can do.
I don't care how much I paid for a game. If I can only get 10 hours out of it, I'm not happy. I don't like 10-hour games.
I've had Steam games that were only like 5-10 hours that I felt super satisfied with.
Really? Can you name one off the top of your head?
It was only $20 though, wasn't it?
Let me check my library.
He said 30. And
yeah,
so my response to that, since he walked away, was he wasn't skeptical for the first time of a Souls-like game that was $30 and looked good.
I mean, I'm skeptical of any Souls-like game, but I don't regret spending $30 in that game.
Yeah, I think I watched Moreland play through almost the entire thing, and I think the one thing I'll say about it is I think the base of it's really good, but they didn't have any of the awesome boss fights that you see in Dark Souls all the time, and I think that's where the indie part really came in, and kind of lowered expectations. Like the only boss fight I think was the final boss. Is that correct?
No, there's 4 story bosses, but 2 of them are so trivially easy that they feel like mini bosses. And even the last boss, I beat in one attempt. He wasn't difficult. There was one really cool boss in the ice level, but he wasn't that hard. He was just he was pretty memorable, but he also wasn't that difficult. I think that one also only took 1 attempt. So yeah, the AI in that game is just very easy to outsmart. It's not as clever as the AI from like Dark Souls or Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
But the ice boss and the final boss were definitely, they were cool bosses. They had like cool move sets and cool visuals and a cool atmosphere and everything else, but they weren't hard. They weren't challenging. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I hope they learn from it, and because I think they really can make a good game. Like now that they're funded.
Yeah, because obviously they made a ton of money from that, so they'll be able to hopefully make it. Take all that money and reinvest it.
So before we go into New World, we did not talk about RMT bans.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about that, dude. So hands.
Did you read that message you put out?
Yeah, I read it. So his excuse was he blew up all his stuff before he quit, and so he only piloted to get back to where he was before he blew all his stuff up.
But he also said in there that he didn't think he'd get perma'd because they were suspending people.
Yeah, which is what we said when they started suspending people, that like, okay, well, you're just signaling the community that you're not taking this seriously, so more people are going to do it.
Which I like the idea that there's some moral high ground that he only did it to get back to where he was.
Let me just blow up all my gear real quick, and then I'll complain about it, and that'll be my excuse for piloting, yeah.
Have we gotten a confirmation on estimate yet?
I've heard lots of rumors about it, but I've not heard anything. I mean, I think it's just rumors.
Unless he admits it or just doesn't log in again. Anyone got him on their friends list? Wait, can you actually use the API to see if he logs in?
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know that.
They put the patch notes that there's somebody or people.
Twitch account is gone.
Wait, his Twitch account's been gone?
I guess.
Hold on, we can find that out real quick. Yeah, it is.
Wow. They went ham on that.
Well, there's no way he got Twitch banned for RMT. He must have
He
closed his own
deleted it.
account. Yeah, he
Right.
must have deleted his own account.
We're still speculating. We don't have confirmation, but that's
Unless it's an elaborate troll, it looks like he got banned.
yeah.
I'm also pretty sure he's the one GM was referring to on the forums. Did you see that lit fucking post that she made?
Yeah, I was about to say that. That's what I was.
Yo, shout out to GM man. She was on fire in that thread.
What happened?
Finally.
Let me bring it up. Does anyone have a link to that?
No, we'll wait. It's worth it.
It's on the forums, right? Not on news.
So is there anyone who has a pin Deborica other than Odir?
No, that's the other thing. Pin Debo neck is officially back on the table. If you make a pin Debo neck from now on, you have the first pin Debo neck. Odir's doesn't count because he cheated.
That's actually pretty big. That's pretty big.
I want to point out that there was, I think it was Hedon that did a interview with Oh Dear, or Estimate as he's known.
Yes, correct.
About the most pay to win player in an interview. That's pretty cringe right now. If he is in fact,
I've had so much flack over talking about that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean I always let my opinions in open. I don't want to hide any of my opinions, and if you don't agree with them, that's fine. You're welcome to your own. I'm not going to force mine on you. So I'm always really open about what I think about situations and stuff. And well, that obviously gets me in a lot of shit when I talk about people. So
some guy in the forums was complaining about how some people can dodge ban waves because they whale. And Dew says some of the players caught in today's ban wave will be able to confirm to you that no matter how much money they spent, they couldn't escape the ban wave. The amount of money spent isn't taken into consideration when determining the punishment on the account. Because that's kind of what we were saying last time, right? It's like, why would they give temporary suspensions to RMTers? It's clearly because they spend tens of thousands of dollars in the game. And I'm pretty sure Odir was like six figures, right? Invested in this game.
He said he was like 150. He said he was around 150, I believe.
Yeah, dude, imagine banning the dude who spent 150K on your game.
We're going back to lease webs, boys.
Whoa.
Our tickets are going to be even longer now.
Yeah, how many people laid off? How many salaries was Odir paying over there?
And I don't think that's necessarily true either. I think if people are spending a lot of money and there's a ticket that comes through, I don't think just because this happened, it doesn't prove that it can happen or disprove that it can happen. But it's a nice example to be made to have people maybe stop saying that as much. But I don't necessarily think that
that's says he's already back 30K crons deep. I don't know if that's a joke or not. What Mag, where like he's playing on another account? Is it confirmed him?
I think ultimately that
Hans is already back playing again, right? He's doing a fresh start.
Yeah, a fresh start.
Fresh start. I just wanted to experience the game all over again.
I guess he's gonna have to get another lead on another RMT.
I think I think overall, though, I think this is a great reversal in policy. They were being very lenient with this, and this definitely makes me feel a little bit better about how they handled mappers.
And why the fuck were they doing that? Oh, don't bring that up. I don't want to get back into that.
But yeah, I think this is a good change in policy. This is definitely RMT is definitely the most heinous offense you can commit in a video game, along with hacking. So I think this is definitely the correct move for them to do.
No, bro. Mapping is the most heinous thing you could ever do. Please. Jesus Christ. Have you not paid attention? Even since in my chat right now, he's about to go off. He's about to let you fucking know that mapping is the worst goddamn thing you could possibly do.
I think biohack makes more in 1 week than those people made with mapping. I think biohack in a single day makes probably more than those people make mapping.
I never said that. Oh my god, don't fucking get at. Leave me alone.
People are like, "What's mapping?" That's how much of an impact it had on the community.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about it later, I guess. That'll be a better topic for off podcast.
New World.
Yeah. So New World's like They said
Why aren't you playing it? Is it because of Mystery of Summers? I used to laugh at you when you talked about this game, and it sounded like such a fucking joke. And I am having like EverQuest 1 type fun with this shit. Except for I'm 30 years old and I'm not drooling on my keyboard. I kind of drool, but only when it's like 3 a.m. and I'm stupid drunk. But I'm having stupid fun with this game, even in its weird broken state. I'm happy they delayed it. I'm very happy they delayed it. I don't know if it needs to be until May, but they're doing so many right things. There's so much organic fun to be had. It's such a breath of fresh air from the chains that are BDO and the lack of social interactions that we talked about weeks ago. All you do in this game is interact socially. Global chat is lit. PvP is lit. There's broken things, yeah, and we can go over that. But the idea and the inspiration and the fucking potential of this game, I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
I'm not that hyped.
I know you're not. I don't quite get it, but
so for me, a game has to have a couple components. It has to have a good intro so people don't quit right away, and it has to have a good end game. So when after I get done the 50 hours of intro, whatever it is, the next 100 hours of end game needs to also be good. And I feel like right now their biggest struggle is end game because they've restarted their game like 3 times. And so because of that, they have a good start because they finally figured out what their start needs to be, but they need to figure out what their end game is going to be because, wars over, territories are fun and stuff like that, especially if there's emotions involved in it. But that only lasts you so long. There needs to be something you can do when you're not getting ready for PvP. And right now, it's basically fetch missions and upgrading your town hall and stuff like that.
So to me, the things that they need to fix, they don't have all the weapons in the version of the game right now, but the hatchet's completely broken. It's like some of the first versions of Shadow Arena standalone, where every time you attack somebody, it staggered them, and the hatchet's really fast, so you can just stun lock somebody really quickly. But we had like 1 or 2 group fights. That was a lot of fun. We're starting to see that the staves are interesting and that large scale, the 50v50 wars, which I'll be doing in a couple hours, has its own meta. But they definitely need to do something about in-game. Hold on, Marlon. I know. Let me finish. They definitely need to do something about in-game. Even though that there are some highlights and how to grind up into there, just doing rifts and upgrading your gear and stuff like that isn't really going to keep me drawn into it. And then the sieges and stuff are cool, but the map's a little small, and being permanently attached to a faction might get weird. So there's definitely some things that need to be fleshed out. Life skilling is just having something to log on and do for like an hour or two. If you only have an hour or two to play, I feel like New World's a tough choice. I feel like it's a longer, you need to log on and see what the homies are up to. You need to run out there because the fast travel is either expensive or not available. And so just playing for an hour or two is rough. So fixing in-game or finding a better vision or a real vision for in-game, tweaking the combat. I like the combat, but it's filled with potential. It's not great where it is right now. And then, just the maybe more minuscule tasks, for the short-term player that only plays for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problems with the game are much deeper than that. And I don't think that they are solvable with the current dev team. The problem with New World is it has a lot of potential, but it's moving away from that potential instead of towards it. It used to be a better game. It used to have better PvP. It used to have better incentives, better world building. And it's been watering those things down and turning itself slowly more and more into a WoW clone, where PvP is opt-in. You do this goofy theme park questing thing that the game doesn't need at all in order to progress. I wouldn't surprise me if they try to add some Pepega ass raid or something for people to do in game. Like, I just don't think they're focusing on the right things. They are getting rid of the things that made the game unique and promising 2 years ago and replacing it with the same copy and paste feature that we've seen in every MMO since World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the game has a shitload of potential. It could be really good with another year of development, but I don't think it will see that potential. I think they're going to continue. I think the devs are going to see all the negative feedback that they got from this beta, and instead of thinking, oh, hey, we did have something with the alpha version of this game. We need to figure out what the problems with that were and fix those. They're just going to bite down harder on the, okay, well, we need to cater to the WoW crowd because that's where, like, you know, all the negative attention's coming from, and we need to make those people happy because that's where all the money is. I think at this point they're salvaging a failed game that was a sandbox and turning it into enough of a theme park to try to lure some WoW players in, and it's just not inspired. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'd like to see diversity in content. I think this is what to make easy content, like they have those rifts you can do, right? And you basically, for people who don't know, in New World, there's a rift that will spawn. Rifts can be easy, medium, or hard, roughly, and there's only a set number of them. And I feel like those need to be more dynamic, where you might go to one and you have, you know, different types of monsters or something like that.
Way more than that. It's got to be so much more than that. They can't fix that game by adding cooler PvE when you're level 65. It needs to be so much more than that. The controlling territory needs to have way more to it than just a discount when you fast travel. PvP when you're leveling up needs to be highly incentivized, if not mandatory, in certain parts of the world. If you go to you need to be auto flagged for PvP. That should be mandatory. You can't do that shit unflagged. There's so many things that they need to do to that game to increase the amount of tension and the amount of stakes and the amount of investment that you have in your character in the world that they're just not doing because they want a Care Bear hand-holding shitty little theme park. And it's just not fun. It's not going to last more than a month. There's no way the game lasts more than a month in its current state when it releases. It's going to be a ghost town. There's going to be 100 players fighting a siege once a week because they really like the combat. And like, honestly, I might do that. I might log into New World once a week to do a siege because I really do like the combat. I think the people who are being critical on the combat are bad at it, and y'all need to go play some Dark Souls. Like, I don't think the combat is that bad. I think it's actually really satisfying to get kills in that game. And if you're getting stun locked, then just manage your stamina better and roll. Like, you're just bad, honestly. But like,
the hatchet needs to be fixed, but
yeah, there's balancing issues. But like, people saying, "Oh, the combat's so slow, bro. You only have 3 abilities." Like, I'm sorry, you're a fucking idiot if you think that the number of abilities you have is what makes PvP good. In Dark Souls, you have 0 abilities. You have light attack and strong attack and roll attack. Like, it's all basic attacks that are just modified. And that game has sick PvP with an insane skill cap. So like,
it took me about 20 hours to even get a hold of the cadence of the combat, and then once I did, it started making sense, and I was, you know, outplaying and stuff like that pretty easily. But a lot of people just want to stand in front of you and swing, and that's not the answer.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of left click Andes, just like Last Oasis. You know, you could say that game has 0 abilities too, but hey, there's people in Last Oasis that win 2v20. So I think there's might be a little bit of skill to it. And you know, the same thing as in New World. There's a lot of people who did 5 minutes of PvP and got mad. I was one of those people. My first kill when I got stun locked by the sword because I rolled too many times trying to position, I was tilted too. But now that I've had more experience with it and some practice, I really do like the combat. I like the fact that I can teleport in front of someone, hit them once and stagger them, and then one of my allies can follow up. Like, the positioning really matters. Your cooldowns really matter. The things that you're doing in combat. The combat is actually, I would say, the only thing that the game really does have going for it. It feels really fucking good to kill someone in that game. The audio on the abilities, just smacking someone with a weapon and getting that nice fucking crunch, like, it actually is really enjoyable. And you know, the 50v50 that we had where we were shooting cannons at each other and shit, and then breaching the walls and going in and like aping out with the hatchet and berserk mode, like, it's pretty fun. And I could see myself playing it as a side game, but in its current state, there's just no way that that's going to be an MMO that holds my attention for more than a few weeks beyond logging in for the occasional siege.
Tomorrow afternoon, Yellow finished their quest for First Light. Our territory is being sieged tomorrow.
They're coming for us. Let's go.
For us. Yeah, so we've owned a territory since the first couple hours, and they almost sieged us once, but I didn't think they have enough coin to do it on the first day. And so now they're after us again because I overtaxed everybody. I just maxed the sliders like when I owned Calpheon. I just maxed them the fuck out, and people haven't been happy about it. So now they're finally gonna PvP us, but we probably have the strongest core on the server, so it'll be interesting. So I'm gonna be reaching out to people we've worked for and stuff. So I'm enjoying kind of the territory version of it in the 50v50s, and the game needs work, and they were 100% right to delay it. But I'm going to be, I'm negative on a lot of stuff, Moreland, and just give me the benefit of the doubt on this one, where I'm gonna stay close to this game and stay positive on it, and just keep playing it and see how it goes. And if they shit the bed, they shit the bed. Nothing gained, nothing lost. But
So the thing,
I've had so much fun in this past 3-4 days.
for
I really have.
For an MMO,
I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. It's not a BDO killer, it's not a WoW killer, it's not an anything killer. It's gonna be super fun on a fresh launch, like most MMOs are, and then it's going to fade like most MMOs. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna pass on New World. I'm gonna play it at launch and I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna talk shit in world chat and do sieges and all that stuff.
You are talking shit in world chat. I was surprised.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to stir up that, because we're on a server that's kind of like no one flags for PvP, man. So I'm trying to like shit talk them so that they'll get mad and come do something about it.
Somebody in your chat, I think it was High Density, said, "Are you surprised that Tim got so toxic so quick?" Well, it's like, thank God I am, because we need to stir some shit up. So
you're the only content on the server right now. PvE flag, like, or PvP flag off, just grinding. Like, dude, it's a 10-day beta. Like, get mad, kill each other.
Yep, yeah. I think that's what they basically need to do. They need to create things that you can only do when you're flagged up for PvP, and then make the reward for doing them good enough. Like, I make it where trade items, you have to do a trade run from one region to another region, and you're flagged up for it. Or make it where, like
PvP, they just need to make PvP available everywhere outside of the starter zones and get rid of the factions and just add a justice system. That's what they need to do. And that's what they used to have, by the way, in alpha, but they couldn't figure out how to balance it because people were killing too much. They don't understand that, you just turn the fucking penalties up for bad guys and turn the rewards up for good guys. It's not that fucking hard. But like, this is the same thing that happened with other games like Legends of Aria. They just get so afraid of this problem because people come into their Discord and cry, "Oh, I got killed and I'm quitting the game." Like, of course people are going to complain about getting player killed. It's not fun to get non-consensually PK'd. Everyone hates it. That's what adds that flavor to the game. That's what gets you mad. That's what gives you that feeling of like the shakes when you're out grinding, when you're doing something that's important and you don't want to lose your objective. It's that possibility of something bad happening. Like, we need to stop being so coddled when it comes to MMOs. We need the possibility of bad shit to happen so that we have that tension, so that the good shit matters.
I think I think New World can survive with non-consensual PvP, or with consensual PvP only. But there needs to be places where those players can't go, and they need to be places where they want to go. So the PvP is like us running those rifts, and Ranger just unflagging, and them doing the content alongside of us. And I didn't have the teleport, so I couldn't get there fast enough, but they did. We should have just zerged them out. They should have not been able to do that content and have to go quest or do some other bullshit. So I think there is a vision of that game where it exists, and I'm kind of okay with that. I don't think it needs to turn into a BDO or Darkfall or anything like that. And I like that it's a little bit more of a basic or simple kind of old school or something MMO experience. So I think there is a version of this game that's wildly successful that has that, but they need to incentivize PvP and go, well, if you just want a PvE, there's faction quests or that quest chains, or you can grind over here. That's all right. Meanwhile, you're watching everybody on stream do these massive, like we were last night, that massive PvE grind fest. That should be like a PvP only spot, and you can still have factions there where green just runs it, or you have to get a whole bunch of your yellow homies to come crash it because they're there, or whatever the case is. You have a scout out there. And then if you don't want any of that, you can just go grind over there with on top of everybody else on the season servers,
Yeah, I mean, they could do like a wilderness system, or just make it so that people have to flag for rifts or something like that. I think that would be a huge step in the right direction. I still don't think it solves the fundamental problem. I think that like the game was designed as a sandbox, and now they're adding all this theme park stuff in the final year of development. And it's clear, like it shows the questing is not compelling. The PvE theme park elements of the game, none of them are compelling.
I'm not looking forward to the questing for leveling up. That looks so mundane.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the game had compelling PvE, then I would agree. Like, okay, sure, make the PvP opt-in, make it, a side objective instead of forcing it upon people. But the game doesn't have any compelling PvE. The PvP sandbox open tension of the game was supposed to be the core of the game.
I will say that this version of questing was the best questing I've ever done, because the best quests are the ones that you have to do flagged up. And so we were running around Everfall flagged up as a group. There was like 10 Aftershock just circling around, and we were literally taking the territory over by doing these quests while flagged up and getting really good experience for the level that we were at the same time. We ran into a game-breaking bug and we reported it and all that kind of stuff, and I believe it's fixed now. But I found a sense of enjoyment of pushing these people out of their own territory while we were running around flagged up, shit talking them in, did I mention, by the way, proximity microphones in a MMO?
Yep.
I'm in fucking heaven.
I think that's going to be the next gen, like all next gen MMOs are all going to have that, because that's just a game changer. It makes the game feel so much more alive.
It was the best version of questing. We were all doing the same thing, kind of in the same area, all flagged up. We'd call out if we saw red. We'd chase him down and shit talk him in VoIP proximity mic. It was insane. I loved it. I don't know if I want to do it every day, all the time, all that kind of stuff. But as far as questing goes, hell yeah.
I don't know, dude. I had more fun questing in WoW Classic, because at least if I saw the Horde, I could kill him.
I don't know, the Murlocs did most of the killing in my WoW Classic experience.
I think right now, like, questing looks mundane, and if you take questing and you're just doing a non-flag, you can just do non-flag all the way level up. That seems silly. There's no risk there, and then you get to end and it's just fetch missions the entire time.
Well, the only risk of doing that is me coming up to you and calling you a pussy the entire time you're questing.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like that experience, but like if you strip away the PvP part of it, it's just not a very enjoyable experience. So, and I think that's basically what's going on with it. And that's basically what it is. Like, that's at its core. You can be forced into a situation where you have to play the game that way because no one else wants to have a consensual PvP, right? And that's sort of the problem, is that version of the game is not very fun.
The way the game is portrayed to me, and I haven't seen a goddamn thing about this beforehand. I love the potential that it has, and if they take it the direction that Moreland's saying that it's been going, that's going to be a fucking shame. Because I haven't been this excited about an MMO since Star Wars Galaxies. Yeah, quite frankly.
I think that's the direction they're going for sure.
There is a chance that for sure this game is going to get universally panned by everyone who reviews it. All the streamers who played it are all saying the same thing. Nobody is thrilled except for Tim about New World in its current state. I think they're going to get overwhelmed with people who are giving them negative feedback, and they're not dumb and they're not out of money, as far as I know. Like Amazon, I don't know if they have a stricter budget as the game studio, but it is Amazon and it's got Amazon's name on it, and they want this to be a good game. They want it to be a big deal. So I don't think they're going to just let the game fail.
Sure.
I think there is a really good chance that they listen to people, that they take our feedback, and they make the game actually good. But it's a very bad sign that they're moving away from all the stuff that made the game interesting in alpha instead of leaning into it. So it could be that they take everyone's feedback and they go even further in that direction, and they add like rating and storylines, and maybe they just think that's how they're supposed to compete. Like
it is worth noting that Asmongold likes the game and he's streaming it and playing it, and Sequisha as well, and Sniper Name G. There's a couple of name guys that
if you go and ask Asmon right now what he thinks of the game. I was listening to him for a while yesterday, and someone said, describe New World in one word, and he said, okay. It's just okay. It's not good. It's not bad.
Have you heard him describe other games? Okay, on the scale of Aspen is like that's big, dude. That's actually big.
I guess. I mean, he said the same thing that I've been saying, which is like it'll be fun for a month or two. You'll make some really good memories, but it's not going to last longer than that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm happy. Like I'm thrilled to play the game for 2 months, but it's fucking Amazon, dude. Like this could have been the next big thing. It could have been.
It's still, if they delay it more, I think it can be. Like I think they should probably go into an open beta at this next period and to say, hey, we're doing an open beta and then we're going to do a whole nother year of development on it. We're not going to be, doing patches that often because we're considering ourselves still in development. But we wanted to make sure the game is available because we know people bought it and we don't want people who bought it wait more than a year or something like that. But I do think it needs probably 2 years worth of development to make enough content that people can enjoy it.
I mean, they got the engine and the netcode and all that working really well. I don't think it needs 2 more years. I think it needs devs that aren't afraid to put cool shit in the game. I think that's what it needs.
I can see that.
Yeah, there's 1vx potential in the game. I think somebody would just ask that. I think outside of Hatchet Berserk, there's still 1vx potential. Again, we don't have all the weapons right now. It's still in alpha. I think there's another phase of alpha, and I think that's okay. And then they go into betas is the current plan. But they're kind of babying this. They're trying to make it whatever. I don't know.
I will say they've been listening very carefully to player feedback. They're not listening to all player feedback. They're listening to the people that are kind of established in the genre, right? They're listening to people who are veteran players in the genre. And I do think they're taking the game in a positive direction for the most part. I think the big negative is the way they're taking PvP. And and if they can build content around PvP, I think the game will do well. I think right now it's a content problem. I think the base is awesome. The base looks great to me, but the base looked great in BDO, and they've never done anything with it. So right now, if you compare the base of BDO and World of Warcraft to New World, it's just New World is not going to stack up. New World needs a much stronger foundation than it currently has, and maybe they'll do that. Maybe they did it. They have roughly half a year to do that, so maybe they can develop a lot of content in that time frame.
What are they saying? March or May or what are they trying to say?
May 21.
So it's a little more than half a year.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they're really going to have to do some. They're going to have some serious internal discussions after this beta because I think they're going to get slammed with negative feedback.
It's a lot of time, and they got a lot of money.
I'm curious to see it, though. I think it's something to keep track of. I'm planning on playing it tomorrow for a few hours, or I guess after today's stream, I'll plan on playing it for a few hours today.
Come to Fanglethorn.
Yeah, I'm already on there. Made a character.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
I'm level 1. Green. I need to actually talk to you guys after the podcast about some stuff about it.
Yeah, so we'll do it on over or that whatever after hours. But join Green Fanglethorn.
Okay. Well, we've been going for an hour and 48 minutes. What do you guys think about closing us out?
We've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
That's what I meant.
Probably about time to wrap it up.
Agreed.
All right.
All right, boys. That was Nerds and Words episode 14, I believe. Episode 14. We'll be doing a little bit of after hours that you guys can catch on our Twitch right now. But on behalf of Potion Shop and Moreland, I appreciate you guys tuning in, listening, getting your drops from the other channels. Moreland, what do you got going on this week? What can people expect from your channel?
I'm definitely going to be playing around with this Pin Blackstar that I just got. I don't know if I mentioned that I got a Pin Blackstar at all today, but I'm going to be seeing how that goes. And then I'll probably play some more New World. We got until September 4th. So I'll be trying to max out on that. If we have any sieges, I'll be doing that. And then other than that, just getting ready for the new season in BDO on September 2nd.
We're defending tomorrow for sure. We're defending tomorrow for sure.
Tomorrow for sure, 4 o'clock Pacific, we're going to be doing that siege on New World.
Hell
so
yeah.
That's, well, yeah, by the time people hear this, if they're not hearing it live, it'll probably be too late, but yep.
Potion, how about you, my friend?
I am going to be streaming lots for Twitch drops. So on Monday, we're going to be doing about 20-hour stream on Monday for Twitch drops. I want to make sure that everybody who has that can just go have one place they can sit for 10 hours and get that. So we're going to be planning a 20-hour stream for that. Then on September 2nd, we'll be doing that again because it resets. Hashin comes out on September 2nd. Day 1, my goal is 61. And then we're going to be pushing 62 at Poly Forest. So we get enough skill points for when Awakening comes out on September 16th, probably. So that's my current plan. You can check me out on Potion Shop TV, on YouTube, and on Twitch.
You gonna be grinding that on the Arsha channel there, buddy? That's not in my guild.
I'll actually be doing it probably on both. I'll go back and forth.
Look forward to griefing you. So I am going to be playing New Worlds until September 2nd. September 2nd, not to one-up you or anything, I will be doing a 24-hour stream for Season 2. which I've had planned before you told me this. And apparently I'm going to have Twitch drops, which will be great too. But we are going to be starting a fresh account. I'm going to be recording and putting up a bunch of brand new guides on YouTube. I'm extremely excited. I have been reserving a lot of time for this and pulling a lot of favors to make sure that I can get the time to do this. So I'm extremely excited for season 2 and have been for some time. Even though I've been having a lot of fun with New World, I'm going to completely put it down as soon as BDO servers come up. And that is when the 24-hour stream will start. And we're just going to stream, record, video the entire time. So make sure you check me out then for that 24-hour stream. It gets fucking weird pretty quick. So that's what we got. On behalf of all of us, thank you very much. Regardless of what channel you're watching this on, or if you're on Spotify, thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Thank you. Have an excellent week. Catch you next time.